Fingertip 0.1.
Well, Miami's gotten some fingertips, unlucky breaks as well this season. As Tyler misses the first free throw, you don't see that often.
He's 8 for 9 from the line. 35 points. Looking for his 36th. It bounces around and in. He has 36. 100 points on the board for Miami. To the 82 for Chicago with 7 minutes to go. Heat by 18. For Chicago, they're about 3 minutes away from the clock being an opponent out here too. Here's White up top. Anderson staying with him. The contest on the 3 ball. Too long. One hop. Herder gets the rebound. Out to Giddy, who misses the 3. Ball tapped out of bounds off of Black. It's Heat ball. They're wearing association white.
That couldn't have worked out better for Miami. The first shot from Kobe White, there was about 1 second left on the shot clock. Offensive rebound and another miss. So on top of a full shot clock, it was actually a shot clock and another probably 5 seconds. So when we're talking about clock and how important, huge possession right there.
Anderson walks it up. Tyler's going to set the screen. Pulls it back, gets it to Wiggins. Wiggins on Giddy. With the rock. Kicks it back to Bam. 3 on the shot clock. He'll let it fly. It's off. From 3. Buzelis a rebound, pushes it up, gets it into the hands of Herder. Back to Buzelis. Wiggins tracking him on the right side of the arc. Tries to power into him. Bounces off of him. Drive down the right side. He forces it up. Misses it. Pulled down by Wiggins. As he comes down, a bounce pass to Bam.
What? Did Wiggins block that?
Officially,
blocked that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, monster. I mean, it's so quiet here. Kind of like, uh-oh, that didn't go well for the Bulls.
Yeah, hot air might be coming out of the fan slowly but surely as the ball caroms off of Anderson right to Tyler instead of being a turnover on a pass he wasn't ready for. Tyler powers baseline and gets past Herder for the layup. Ballin', shot calling. The man has 38.
That was just a little, I mean, he rocked the baby, right? By accident, to your point, it stumbled into his hands. He rocked the baby, got the step on the baseline, and then turned his shoulders, popped that thing off the backboard. They are throwing Kevin Herder, Josh Giddey, those types of guys on Tyler Hero on the perimeter, and it ain't working. It's just not, it hasn't been the entire night.
I don't think they have a defender that could do anything against Tyler Hero tonight.
Well, Buzelis, I guess, ran through it. That was a good
Come
possession.
on back over, rookie. Hero season high is 40, so he's 2 away from that. His career high is 41. His finest performance in his career is going to come in a really important contest.
Is there a fire in here or something?
Amy, I think it's too soon to leave, but I live in a glass house.
No,
when it comes to what happened in
It is
2013.
way too early. It is too early to leave because the Chicago team can score quickly. 5.5 minutes. But if you're Miami right now, I would say the shot clock. I mean, burn it down. Unless you got wide open layups, you got to use that clock.
The Heat have outscored the Bulls 14-8 in this quarter.
Tyler's real happy tonight. Like, he's feeling it. He's locked in. Everything he's doing, he kind of runs with his head down a little when he's locked in like this, right? Like he's almost mad for the greatness.
Leading all scores with 38 points. Heat up 102-82. 5:30 to go. A trip to Atlanta on the line. Vooch up top. Pauses left elbow. Handoff to Horton Tucker. Jump pass back to Giddey. The contest by Wiggins on the runner. The ball almost out of bounds, and Tyler threw it off the backboard trying to save it because there are a lot of black jerseys ready to grab what he was offering back, so it probably ended up being the better thing that happened, even though it probably wasn't his idea.
Giddey again in crowds on the drive, right? All you can do is just try to throw bodies at him and legally contest him, and tonight Miami's been pretty good. Community effort on that man.
5:15 to go. Heat by 20. The inbound to White. Inside the arc right side. Flips it up top. Buzelis feeds Vucevic. With Bam on his back. Working mid-post left side. Trying to power. Spins toward the baseline. Jumper up. And it's a miss and a one-hop rebound for Wiggins, who has 9. to go along with his 15 points, his 2 assists, his 2 blocks, and his 2 steals. Wiggins has Giddey up top. He's rocking him back and forth, powers into him, spins on him, then draws the foul on him.
Oh, they're taking turns calling that man to the top of the paint. This has been a season of frustration for Josh Giddey from the Miami Heat.
He's 36 minutes, absolutely. 4 personal fouls now for Giddey. And by the way, no more team fouls to give the Heat are in bonus for the remaining 4:51 with 4 fouls to give. So just keep powering down.
A 20-point game. But on the previous offensive possession for Chicago, I got to say, Giddey, who had the ball on his side, pointed the other way, said, I don't want it, go the other way. And I thought that was interesting because he doesn't want that Wiggins one-on-one matchup tonight. Andrew Wiggins about 10 nights ago here, first came back from that hamstring, wasn't himself. We all saw that. Different type of Wiggins tonight.
Missed them both. They may not get a win in this building, but they're going to get free hot dogs in this town. Vooch throws up a brick up top. This 20 points strain is starting to collapse now down on Chicago. They know they need haymakers, home runs now to try to cut into this 20-point lead with 4.5 minutes to go. Wiggins for 3, knocks it down from the left corner pocket and had plenty to say, whoever was talking to him on that Bulls bench.
And then jumped up full court denial on Josh Giddey.
Horton the attack, scoops it up, Tyler contests, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Horton Tucker, and the miss to make it worse.
Tyler's grabbing his face there, checking for blood, maybe his eye or his nose, I'm not sure. He's going to stroll it back, though.
He's checking for gold.
Yeah, 38 ain't enough.
That is what he's checking. He's on an 8-0 run. Trying to close this thing out in Chicago with just over 4 minutes to go. Up 105-82. Tyler, sidestep. 3 ball. Misses from the left wing. Giddey the rebound. That's his 9th to go with 23 points. Almost loses his dribble, but gets the ball to Vooch. He moves it to Horton Tucker. Bounce pass back to Vooch. Back out to Horton Tucker, top of the circle. Quick pass to Giddey. Touch pass to White. Now into the corner to the rookie. It's a miss, but a tip back in. After the Buzelis miss, Vooch taps it in. Buzelis now 1 for 4 from the edges. It's a 16 and 12 double-double for Nikola Vucevic. Heat in front 105-84. Bam taking his time, and rightfully so. Tick-tock, you don't stop. 3:23 remaining. Bam misses the 3 from the right side of the arc. And now 1 for 5 from the edges. White for 3. Misses from the right side of the arc. Bam pulls down his 10th rebound. It's a double-double for Bam. Giddey has 1 too. 23 and 10 for him. Adebayo 15 and 10. Heat 105-84, inside 3 minutes. Here comes Wiggins to the right elbow, pulls it back out. Gets it to Tyler. Tyler on the drive, loses the rock after rejecting the Bam screen. Here's White on the move, leaves it for Giddey, the runner, got it. 25 points on the board for Giddey. Heat up 105-86, 2:30 to go. The Heat know they got to keep this clock rolling, but White with the reach-in foul to stop that clock.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 minutes, 24-second shot clock. I mean, you do the math, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's bonus time, by the way. These fouls just send Miami to the line.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit a couple free throws.
Reality sets in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean.
Down 19 in the 3rd straight year in a play-in against Miami. First time at home, and same result.
It's got to be incredibly tough for Chicago because, and both of these teams probably didn't feel like they were 9-10 teams, right? And just at some point in the season just had a hard time winning some games. And Chicago had been playing so good down the stretch here. To your point, right? They earned this game on their home court. You felt like they probably felt like it was their time. It was their year. But this has been complete dominance by Miami Heat. A wire-to-wire win.
Not a single lead change or tie. Wiggins for three. Misses from the left side of the arc. Bam! Tracks it down. His 11th rebound. 15 and 11 for the captain inside the final 2 minutes. Wiggins, the pump fake, now the drive. Switches hands, puts it up in. Heron another nail. Wiggins has 20. And a turnover on the other end, right into the hands of Anderson. Buck 30 to go, and the Boo Birds coming out in Chicago. That's rough. That's the second time I've heard him raining down tonight. Anderson, the runner, got fouled by Vooch. And here comes Keshad Johnson, Duncan Robinson, Highsmith, and Jaquez. As Miami and Chicago meet in the play-in for the third consecutive season, and the Heat will eliminate Chicago for the third straight time. All this, and the Heat were swept during the season series against the Bulls this season.
Well, and those 3 games came down to segments within the games, right? I mean, Miami had played good, I would say all 3 games for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And the difference tonight was, even though Chicago did win that third quarter, they were a +10. Miami's first 2 quarters, that first half, they created such a lead because in this first half, Miami did anything they wanted, it felt like, offensively. And Chicago struggled to hit shots. And when you're a team and that's your style, run and you play with pace, and that's how you generate your energy. When you're not able to get to the things that you want, your shots aren't falling as easy. And that kind of snowballed for them tonight.
Anderson missed them both. Down to the other end for a little layup for Horton Tucker. As we approach the final minute with the Heat in front, 109 to 88.
88. Jacks. I mean, one of the highest paced teams in this league, one of the best 3-point shooting teams, averaging 118 points a night in the regular season.
And the Miami Heat have held opponents under 100 points this season. I believe it's 17 times. They are 16-1. They are taking that particular mindset and that energy and that success into the play-in. There's Horton Tucker. Gets another lay-in.
Well, Spo kind of talked about the clarity and also just this is the second season now, right? This team played like it. You hear they had an excellent workout / practice yesterday, and this group was completely connected and focused from that opening tip.
An interesting and maybe even dubious distinction is Jaquez fires a 3 and misses. The Heat moving toward their third win in the play-in.
Hey,
and by the way, tied for the most in the play-in.
Yeah, they are 1 game away from being the first 10 seed to get out of the play-in.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's amazing. Ofer out of the 10 spot on both sides, East and West. 10 seed yet to advance to the playoffs, with only 2 teams winning the 9-10 game. So this is just the 3rd time that has happened. I should get a little dap from Davion before the game's over. I appreciate it. 109-90. The 9-10 play-in game belongs to the Heat. Atlanta, here we come. Amy, run us through the players of the game. You got a player of the game candidate, performance of the contest.
Hold on a second.
You want to hold on? You want to think about it first?
Let me think about this for a second.
We're going to be here for a second waiting for our guests. There's a lot of love on the floor happening, but what else is on your mind?
I needed a hero tonight.
Yeah, you got it.
There was an A1. Yeah. There was no, what is it, A1, A2? There was no A2.
Yeah. That very technical
it stopped at
audio
A1
talk from television Amy over here. I love it. No, Tyler might have whispered to somebody we know. And he had a little something extra prepared for this one. 38 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. That's that extra something. A man with nearly a double-double in this one. 35 minutes for Andrew Wiggins. 20 points, 9 rebounds. And Andrew, most importantly, win and advance.
Yes, sir. Just take it one game at a time. This is a hard-fought game. Chicago's a really good team and finished out the year, very strong.
The matchup with Josh Giddey, you had that a lot tonight. You found a lot of success in it on both ends. What was the key for you in that particular look?
Whenever I was on him, just try to slow him down. He's had a great year. Did a lot of good things this season. So it was a team effort. They're a nice young team. They play fast. They play really fast. So it was a team effort.
You guys dominated in paint. Half your points in that area today. How much of an emphasis was that, or is that just the read that you guys had to have on the Chicago defense?
I feel like it was just you take what the defense gives you. You see an opportunity, we went for it. I feel like getting to the rim, getting to the paint. That's when you're being their aggressors. When you're usually the aggressors, the game falls in your hand or favors that way. So we got to keep being the aggressors and trying to dictate what we do.
And you got to do it one more time.
One more time.
Make this team the first 10 seed to make it into the playoffs.
Yes,
but
sir.
Atlanta stands in front of you. Your thoughts on them?
It's going to be a hard-fought game.
Yeah.
Trae Young and those guys, they play hard, they play well, they play together. So it's going to be a good one.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Off
sir.
to Atlanta we go. Mr. Wiggins.
Followell had his Followell 4-pack, and you were really drilling down on the emotional impact of the game. And I thought, you made one of the best points about, come on, man, this team doesn't have anything left after Luka coming in here. And I think the other thing that really supports that is they had the terrible trip with the Clippers, right, where those games just weren't even competitive. I think if the Mavericks were going to hang their hat on one thing going into this, it's like everybody's healthy and ready to go except Kyrie, which we knew there was no Kyrie, right? So we've that ship has sailed. And guys can play legitimate playoff minutes. There's no back-to-backs. You can really go attack it. And I think the game that Anthony Davis had against the Toronto Raptors is indicative of the kind of impact he can have. But we've seen the public reaction to the Nico Harrison, Rick Welts press conference last night, which means the players have seen the public reaction. And so as a buddy of mine was saying, man, if they're sitting in their hotel room in Sacramento doom scrolling all night, that probably ties into the point you were making yesterday about the emotional toughness of this. And so that really is the key to the game. Can Anthony Davis be the best player on the floor? And is this team emotionally ready for an uphill climb, which is what it is when you're the 10 seed in a play-in?
Yeah, and I just feel like they've overcome so much. Jason Kidd deserves a ton of credit. They've shown so much just ability to be resilient, so much resiliency. They've overcome so many different things, but at some point you go back to that well and you're taxed. There's nothing left there, and they've been great at compartmentalizing everything and let's just focus on competing and playing. But to have Luka crying on their bench as he watches a recap of his 6.5 years here, that guts a team. To watch an entire your home arena cheering for the other team and another play, that's hard to reconcile emotionally. And then right when you're trying to gather everything and okay, let's give it one last shot here, you have this big press conference, and now that's all anybody's talking about. It's almost like it was an end of season thing before the season ended. So there's a lot happening in Mavs land. Can they overcome it all? Can they go back to that tank? Is there anything left there? We will find out very soon, and if there is, it will be unbelievably impressive. Again, this is brought to you by the Sunset at McKinney Amphitheater, redefining the way you experience concerts. Go to sunsettexas.com for information on how to own a fire pit suite or join the exclusive Aikman Club. Again, opening in 2026. All right, that'll do it for Courtside. Back to you guys.
All right, again, that is Ben Rogers and Jeff Skin Wade, co-hosts of the Ben and Skin Show, which you can hear locally on the Mavericks flagship station, 97.1 The Eagle. Couple of interesting notes coming into today's game. The defensive rating for the Sacramento Kings, just 22nd in the NBA. The Mavericks actually have a better defensive rating. They are 20th in the league. Sacramento's a team that scores a lot of points, but also can give away a lot of points. And Domantas Sabonis was speaking at shoot-around a couple of days ago for the Kings preview in this matchup said one thing they want to do against the Mavericks is try to run the floor well and beat the bigs for the Mavericks, Davis, Gafford, Lively, down the floor to try and get some easy offense in transition. But the Kings don't play with a ton of pace usually during the season. They're down in 19th where the Mavericks are 12th. So it might be the Mavericks that actually try to push the pace a little bit tonight. I'm Tyler Sloan. That will do it for the pregame show. When we return, we'll send you over to Chuck Cooperstein and Brian Damaris. They're at the Golden One Center for the call of tonight's game. It's the Dallas Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings. The lineups and opening tip-off are next on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles towards your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason to purchase both a home and away jersey. With status comes great benefits like priority boarding, free check bags, and complimentary upgrades. Not a member? Enroll for free today at aa.com. American Airlines, you are why we fly. Terms and conditions apply.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
What do basketball and banking have in common? To win, you need the right team. That's where Chime comes in. They're changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and with direct deposit, you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early. Chime even provides fee-free overdraft on debit card purchases with SpotMe. And as the official partner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mavs fans already have Chime on their team. So if you're looking for a layup, open a Chime account today at Chime.com. Chime, banking that has your back. Early direct deposit depend on the payer. SpotMe eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
Elevate your dining experience at Sear Steak and Spirits, one of Dallas's top-rated steakhouses. With breathtaking views of downtown Dallas, every seat is one with a view. Chef Aubrey Murphy crafts bold, unforgettable flavors using choice cuts of steak and locally sourced ingredients for an evening that's as remarkable as the view. There's only one place in Dallas, Sear. Reserve your table at sersteak.com. That's sersteak.com. Elevate your dining experience today at Sear Steak and Spirits.
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
It's time, Mavs fans, for Dallas Mavericks basketball on the radio home of the Mavs.
Kyrie turning. Do you have time? He got it away in time.
KEGL Fort Worth, Dallas.
This is 97.1 The Eagle and the Mavs Radio Network.
Luka against Gobert with Wayne back, stepping back for the win. He got it. He got it.
Now let's go courtside. Here's the radio voice of the Dallas Mavericks, Chuck Cooperstein.
And welcome to the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. In 45 years, the Mavericks have never played a game quite like this. A game that doesn't count in the standings, and yet it means everything, because if the Mavericks don't win tonight, they don't even get a chance to go to the playoffs as they take on the Sacramento Kings. Brian Damaris alongside. It has been a rough go, a roller coaster last few months for the Mavericks. I mean, so many questions around their team. But tonight, Brian, 39-43 doesn't matter. They just need to go 1-0.
It's Game 7, and this is the healthiest this Mavericks squad has been in a very long time. Kyrie Irving and Omax Prosper, the only people on the injury report. So let's see. You're not going to play all the guys that are eligible to play, and that's a benefit that you do have. But you talk about all the emotions externally and internally. It's a bunker mentality. It's us versus them, and it's about the Mavs.
Well, the Mavericks in the past, when they've been in these situations, since Jason Kidd took over, they've been excellent. 5-1 in win or go home games when they had a chance to close out the opponent. Even when they were in a position to be closed out against Golden State and Boston, they won that game to move on to a fifth game of the series. So, Brian, they are not unfamiliar with this. And also now they do have a little bit of experience with guys like Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson who have been through this, and this is what they were brought in for.
Anthony Davis has to be the best player on the floor tonight for the Mavericks to win. He is the best player. He's got to play like it. And it's going to be either him scoring on his own, or if he's doubled, immediately finding that open teammate and getting an open look.
And with that in mind, give me a Texas Ford dealer key to the game.
Three-pointers. Got to get Klay going, get him at least 15 to 20 shot attempts. 23rd and 24th in three-point rate, these two teams are. They don't shoot the three ball well, but Kings give up 30th in opponent three-point percentage.
38.1%, and only twice in the last 10 games have the Mavericks made more than three-pointers. 10 three-pointers. It so happens that those were two games that they won against Atlanta and Toronto at home. We'll see what happens here tonight. Time now for the starting lineups, and let's have the Mavericks introduce themselves.
P.J. Washington, 6'7", University of Kentucky.
Anthony Davis, 6'10".
Derek Lively II, 7'2", from Duke.
Klay Thompson, 6'6", Washington State.
Najee Marshall, 6'7", Xavier University.
Brian, this is a lineup that Jason Kidd went to last week in the Atlanta game, and he found some success with that, and he's going to ride this one and ride it pretty hard tonight.
Yeah, it's a lot of lengths in there. You're playing those double bigs. The interesting question, who can exert their will? Are we going to force them to play double big, or are we going to have to play with one big because of their wings?
The Sacramento Kings, coached by Doug Christie, took over right after Christmas and replaced Mike Brown. His first win as the interim coach came against the Mavericks back on December the 30th, and a 27-24 record and an overall record for the Kings this year of 40-42. When the Kings lineup presented by Florette, prepared to be floored. DeMar DeRozan, 6'6", his 16th year from USC, 22.2 points, 3.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists. Keegan Murray, 6'8", his third year from Iowa, 12.4 points, 6.7 rebounds. Domantas Sabonis, the center, 6'10", his ninth year from Gonzaga, 19.1 points, 13.9 rebounds, 59% shooting, also 6 assists per game. Zach LaVine, 6'5", his 11th year from UCLA, second in the league in three-point shooting at 44.6% at the off guard. And Keon Ellis, 6'6", in his third year from Alabama at 8.3 points and 2.8 rebounds. And Brian, fascinating that both of these teams playing without a pure point guard.
That's right. So who's going to be able to get into their flow of their offense better, play with physicality, play with force, and run when they can?
The Mavericks tonight in their white uniforms, royal blue numbers, navy blue letters and trim around the shoulders and waist. Dallas across the chest. They shoot to our right. The Kings in their black uniforms with the script Kings across the chest in white with white numbers as well, and white and purple piping down the sides. They'll shoot to our left. The officials tonight are Mark Davis, Ben Taylor, and Brian Forte. Jason Goebel is the alternate, and Gediminas Petraitis is at the replay center in Secaucus, New Jersey. The 10 seed with Miami winning tonight against Chicago in the 4 years plus of the play-in are 3-6, but no number 10 seed has ever reached the playoffs and the top 8. That's what the Mavericks are trying to get done this year.
Let's make history.
It's Lively and Sabonis in the center circle. Mark Davis to toss the ball. It's up in the air and on the way down. Lively bats it backward to Washington. He'll hand it to Marshall against Keon Ellis, an excellent on-ball defender, as Marshall at the bottom of the jump circle to the curling Thompson, away from Levine, and a wrap around to Lively, and he'll lay it up and in.
Yeah, Klay could have taken it himself, but he got all that attention inside, right inside to Lively, taking advantage of that size.
Ellis will bring it up against Washington on the arena logo, right side of the floor. Now wide to his left, inside the yard, wrap around right, and Murray will take the three, and he hits it over Thompson to put Sacramento in front.
And immediately they hit a rare three.
Keegan Murray, at the beginning of the year, really struggled with his threes. 38.5% since the All-Star break, though, much better. And you got to keep an eye on him. Here's Davis's first touch of the night, way outside on the left. No double team. It's against Sabonis one-on-one. He'll drive him and then spin him through the lane. Bad pass. Marshall one-timed it into traffic, stolen by Ellis. In the middle to Sabonis against Lively, down the lane, back out to Ellis, and over Washington, down low. Murray pumps, blocked by Davis, picked up by Lively, and there's the size that the Mavericks are looking for around the rim.
That's why you have two bigs. One was in trouble, the other recovered.
Here's Thompson, drop it to Lively, left elbow, through the lane, right corner, Washington, met by Ellis, gets around him and got to the rim to lay it up and in.
You can see they're using those wings right in there to penetrate, and if there's too much attention to them, the bigs are over the top.
Mavericks with a 4-3 lead, 90 seconds in. DeRozan out top, to his right, top of the circle, chest pass left, Ellis on the drive, met by Davis, and he stole the pass as he tried to get it through the lane to Murray. Here comes Davis against Sabonis. Crossed over right to left. Between his legs, right to left, and back to his right. Still inside the arc, and now over Sabonis from 18, way off. He hit the backboard and then the rim, and Murray with a rebound for the Kings. Murray to the top, down low, and Sabonis beat Derek Lively to the rim to lay it in.
Gotta watch those cutters to the rim. That's the second time they didn't get the block this time.
The Kings with a 5-4 lead. 2 minutes in. Marshall through the center circle to Davis. Outside the arc, right of the circle. Circles to his left now against Sabonis. Little bump, hang in the lane. Got it.
Yeah, they're not doubling him right now. They're going to make him earn it.
Mavericks go in front 6-5 as we go back and forth early here in Sacramento. DeRozan to his left. And now to his right. Got around Davis and will put it up and drew the foul. And he will go to the line to shoot. It's Lively coming over to get him on the wrist. And 2 free throws to come for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, the pick and roll. He got Davis on him, was past him. Then Lively commits the foul, helping.
DeMar DeRozan, an incredibly consistent player. 12 consecutive years now, averaging better than 20 a game. 22.2 this year. Only Steph Curry, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Anthony Davis have done that.
The maestro of the mid-range and a former clutch player of the year. If this game is tight, he is going to get the ball and have one-on-one opportunities.
A great free throw shooter, just under 86%, and we certainly saw clutch DeRozan back in February when he hit the game-tying shot that sent the game in overtime, and then a game-winning shot after Klay Thompson had put the Mavericks in front. 2 free throws for DeRozan. Back and forth we go. Kings lead at 7-6. Davis to his right, hook it back left. Washington shot fake, put it on the floor, and up top for Lively, and he banked it off the heel of the rim, and it came right out to Davis at the right wing for 3, no good. Rebound Washington, and he stuffs it on the follow.
Rebounding is going to be a key in this game, and that's use your size to your advantage.
Mavericks with an 8-7 lead. Along the right side, DeRozan against Lively, circles, can't shoot, back out to Ellis. Now to Sabonis. Between his legs, backwards, Murray, knocked away by Thompson. Thompson, nice save along the sideline to Marshall, who comes up the left side, cuts to his right, through the lane, Thompson, right corner 3, off the heel of the rim, no good, and Sabonis, the rebound, and he'll run the break for the Kings. Coming right down the middle and wrap around, find DeRozan, spins on Lively, back out Ellis, little ball fake, opens up a 3. That's no good. Rebound. Davis able to retrieve it for the Mavericks. And Jason Kidd telling his guys, get up the floor, want to run it. As Davis spins on Murray.
Kings are having a hard time finding anything inside offensively.
Davis along the right side, again spins on Murray. Some help from Sabonis this time. Crossed the way to Washington. Touch pass Marshall. Left corner 3 is good.
That's what you've got to do as soon as that double fades over. Swing, right to the corner.
First 3 of the game for the Mavericks. They begin the game 5 of 9. They lead 11-7, 4 minutes in. Davis to Sabonis off the right elbow. Pivots against Lively. Now to DeRozan. A bounce to his left for a pull-up 3 that's short. Washington the rebound.
He doesn't shoot many of those. Although he did hit a few of those in that February game.
He's a 33% three-point shooter. Washington right to left. Thompson, touch it. Marshall, do it again. Najee Marshall, who has struggled all year shooting threes, 27%, has knocked down a pair early to put the Mavericks up 13-7 and 8-0 run.
We talked about how important it was. They're going to get those shots, got to drain them.
Here is Murray, top of the circle to the cutting DeRozan, met by Davis, back out. Sabonis, right elbow pop, rolls off the rim, and Davis with the rebound.
Nothing at the rim for the Kings.
Already 4 rebounds for Anthony Davis along the right side. And a whistle and a foul on Ellis. Mark Davis was looking right at him. Ellis not happy. He had 2 hands on Davis. He has to call that foul, Mark Davis does.
Yeah, that's a silly foul so far away from the bucket on something like that.
The first,
one of their better defenders.
First on the Kings. And Ellis continuing that discussion rather demonstrably with the veteran official Mark Davis.
Exum comes in now, so the Mavs go to 1 big, are saving Gafford for later.
As Exum in Derek Lively out. That's who's in and who's out. Brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger's all about, and that's goaltending as Davis got the step on Sabonis, and Ellis was late coming over, and the Mavericks now with an early advantage here at 15-7.
When you have that one big, you can go to the hole and spread all the other guys outside. He's got room in there.
Zach LaVine, middle of the floor, screen, and a deep pull-up three, and he got it.
Well, you know he can hit that. He's one of the hottest players in the NBA right now in terms of scoring.
Zach LaVine, second in the league in three-point shooting to Seth Curry of the Charlotte Hornets. Makes it 15-10. Davis left of the circle, and he'll take the long two over Murray, and it rims the basket. Sabonis the rebound. Drop it off to the right side to LaVine, played by Thompson in the jump circle. Hip high dribble. Screen left by Sabonis. Now the switch by Washington. He'll pull up and take the deep three. That's way off. But Murray, the rebound in the lane. Got it back out to Sabonis for a reset. The handoff to LaVine. On the drive. The spin on Thompson. In the lane. Dotted line. Off the right of the rim. No good. Well played defensively by Thompson. Marshall the rebound. Here is Marshall down low for Davis, and a good job by DeRozan getting back to knock it away out of bounds. And that will lead to the first timeout of the night, taken by Doug Christie and the Kings. 6:15 remaining in the first quarter. A good start for the Mavericks. They lead the Kings 15-10 on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. Jack could have been like any other whiskey. Instead, we charcoal mellow every drop through 10 feet of hard sugar maple charcoal. We use water from Cave Spring Hollow in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's no coincidence that Jack is what it is today. Because when you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old Number 7 registered trademark. 2022 Jack Daniels, all rights reserved.
Elevate your dining experience at Sear Steak and Spirits, one of Dallas's top-rated steakhouses. With breathtaking views of downtown Dallas, every seat is one with a view. Chef Aubrey Murphy crafts bold, unforgettable flavors using choice cuts of steak and locally sourced ingredients for an evening that's as remarkable as the view. There's only one place in Dallas, Sear. Reserve your table at sersteak.com. That's sersteak.com. Elevate your dining experience today at Sear Steak and Spirits.
This is the sound when you're hit with a $35 overdraft fee. And this is the sound when Chime Spot Me covers you on a debit card purchase with no overdraft fee. Chime is changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and they spot you instead of charging overdraft fees. Start banking through Chime today at Chime.com. Spot Me eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
Replacing your floors can be a struggle, but it doesn't have to be. At Floret, we have a better way. Floret is a company dedicated to revolutionizing the flooring industry and taking the hassle out of updating your floors. We provide premium, sustainable flooring crafted with only the finest materials and finishes to add style and elegance to any space. Our floors are quality tested to make sure they do more than look good. They're pet-proof, kid-proof, waterproof, and life-proof too. No hassle, no fuss. Just great-looking floors. A beautiful space starts with a beautiful floor. Find yours today at Floret.com.
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
Just excited, obviously, to be able to play postseason. I think we match up well versus them. Excited to get to Sacramento and just excited to play.
There's Anthony Davis with tonight's Dallas Morning News quote of the game. The Mavericks, Brian Damaris, with pep in their step in the first half of the first quarter. A 15-10 lead. One of those Marshall three-pointers that we actually called it two with a toe on the line, but nonetheless, 7 of 12 shooting for the Mavericks to start the game. 3 of 9, maybe even more importantly for Sacramento.
And they're exerting their will. They're playing their game. They're playing physically. You wondered what kind of emotion they would come out with. They are stopping everything inside. You're seeing a few flashes in transition for the Kings to get some buckets, but really walling off that paint. That's the vision of the defense. And offensively, using AD, he's been playing one-on-one mostly, and then swinging it around when he gets doubled, getting those open looks.
Davis already with 4 rebounds in the game for the Mavericks. And it will be Dallas ball as we resume. Dante Exum inbound from the baseline to the left of the basket. Again, the winner of this game goes on to Memphis to play against the Grizzlies, who lost in a thriller last night about 85 miles down the road in San Francisco. 121-116, 8:30 game on Friday night. The inbound from Exum to Davis against Sabonis. Left side of the floor. Jab stepping, now puts it on the floor, whips it cross court. Exum touch it back out. Marshall on the drive, hang at the dotted line, and hits that money floater.
I'm liking the ball movement. Guys know what their role is. They've been drilling it over the last couple of days.
Mavericks 17 and the Kings 10. A 10-2 advantage points in the paint for the Mavericks early on here as DeRozan right in the lane, pulls up and stopped on a dime, and he fooled P.J. Washington there, and he hits that little 10-footer.
Not expecting somebody to hit a mid-range.
You've got to expect it with him, though. Here's Davis way outside. A lot of initiation early on from Anthony Davis as he hands now to Thompson in the jump circle with 9 to shoot to his left. Levine got bumped off. Thompson a pull-up three off the back rim. Long rebound. Marshall chased it and got it to Washington inside the arc to the cutting Thompson. And that's off his hands and out of bounds. And Thompson upset. He thought he was fouled by Keon Ellis, but that's the first Dallas turnover tonight.
Yeah, you just want to see Thompson hit one inside. He hadn't had a shot here. Remember that play-in game last year, 0 of 10 from deep.
And Sacramento will have Ellis inbound the ball. Devin Carter was trying to get into the game. Will not be able to until the next dead ball as Ellis brings it up. Again, the Kings playing without Malik Monk, who injured a calf a couple weeks ago and not going to even be evaluated again until next week, is DeRozan out to Ellis, hands to Sabonis. They like to run the offense now through him to DeRozan on the weave right to left, and that's no good. Drew a foul on Davis, 17 feet from the basket.
Yeah, he just kind of angled that body right into him, and that's a tough call right there, but it is a foul.
So the first on Davis, the second on the Mavericks.
Kings really play the majority of their minutes are 6 guys, and then they're going to play a few people like Carter. But, you know, this is going to be interesting to see how deep Kidd goes in his rotation. Caleb Martin, for defensive purposes, coming in to give P.J. Washington a blow.
Into the Kings lineup, number 22, Devin Carter.
Devin Carter was the Kings' top pick, 13th overall. Missed the beginning of the season. Missed the first 34 games of the year. Began his college career at South Carolina. Played the last 3 years at Providence. It was his dad, Anthony Carter. Longtime NBA point guard, now an assistant with the Memphis Grizzlies. 2 free throws made by DeRozan. As Exum works it the other way. Left of the lane, stops. Davis, left elbow, closed down on by Sabonis. Squares him up. Jab step, put it on the floor, spins. Tough fadeaway from 17. That's short. And DeRozan with the rebound. 17-14 is the Dallas lead as DeRozan comes up the right side against Martin. Trying to back him down. Right of the lane. Left hand dribble, little shoulder into him. Fade away, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Davis.
That's why Martin's in the game. He is there to just cover DeRozan and make those shots as difficult as possible.
And here comes Daniel Gafford in the game now for the Mavericks to replace Marshall.
And now you're going back to double big. Wall off that paint.
And Max Christie is checked into the game as well for the Mavericks.
Already 9 players.
Out to the top. Levine left to Trey Lyles for 3, and it's good as Martin was late getting out there. Trey Lyles, the 10-year veteran out of Kentucky, ties the game at 17, 7 straight for Sacramento as Exum runs it up on Carter. Little shoulder into him and able to lay it in at the right of the rim.
Created a little space and got the bucket.
Mavericks 19, the Kings 17 as we come down on 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Levine in the jump circle, backhand pass left to DeRozan. DeRozan to the top, and he'll pull up for 3, and he hits it as he hit the deck. And Doug Christie looking for a foul call that was not called.
Yeah, he tried to draw one.
Kings go in front, 20-19. Exum, I should say, to Martin left side. Davis down low, Gafford, and that's blocked by DeRozan, but a foul on DeRozan.
And that's that big high-low right there that you see. Cutting right to the bucket is Gafford when Davis has it up top.
So DeRozan picks up his first, the 3rd team foul against, 2 team fouls against the Kings.
Hard fall from Gafford, but seems to be okay.
Daniel Gafford averaged 12.3 points, 6.8 rebounds during the season. The 6th in the league in block shots were he able to be eligible. In fact, the Mavericks with 2 of the top 6 shot blockers in the league. Davis would be number 3 had he played enough games. And Gafford hitting the first free throw. And here are the Kings playing with Jonas Valanciunas checking in to replace Sabonis. So you got Valanciunas at 6'11", Lyles is 6'10", and they're going to go big against Davis and Gafford, who Gafford sinks 2 free throws.
Valanciunas doesn't play a lot, but he will against this team. They've got to have a big in there.
No one has played more play-in games than Jonas Valanciunas. This is the 9th game he's played, going back to the bubble when there was just the one play-in game for the 8-9 spot. He was playing with the Grizzlies then. Here is DeRozan, right to left. Levine on the drive. He got the step on Martin, and he missed the dunk. Banked it off the back of the rim, and it came down to Exum. Pushes it right. Martin on the run. Right corner. Christie escape dribble and gets inside the arc for a little 8-footer that's good.
Nice screen by Martin to give him more of an open look.
The Mavericks go back in front 23-20 as we come down on 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Mavericks 10 of 17 from the floor. The Kings are 6 of 15. As DeRozan straight away, now against Gafford on the switch. Keeps the dribble, 10 to shoot. Drive it to his left. Hang left of the lane. Behind him, Valanciunas. Rhythm dribble. Passed up the 3. Out to DeRozan against Gafford again. Left to Levine. 2 to shoot. Pulls the pin on the grenade. Wide right. And the rebound taken down by Christie.
Good defense there. Not giving him a clean shot.
Here comes Exum. Pushing to the top of the circle. Hand off to Davis. And he'll take a 3. And that's off the back of the rim. No good.
Kings are going to give him that shot.
Yeah, just a 27% three-point shooter himself, and Levine's going to go coast to coast with that off rebound and able to score it.
Christie wants them to play with pace when they have the opportunity.
Mavericks 23, the Kings 22. Exum right of the lane, turned back, and now gets to the right elbow. Shovels it to Davis in the mid-post, facing up on Valanciunas. To his left into the lane, trying to draw the foul. Couldn't do it. Wide right. Got the rebound back. Missed that too. And it's taken down by Lyles. Davis is down. Kings have numbers. Here comes Levine. Left corner, Carter. Take the 3. Kings have the lead.
Oh, what a turn of events. Davis, 2 point-blank shots and a timeout by Jason Kidd.
The Mavericks, an early 8-point lead. That's now gone. Dallas had a 17-10 lead. The Kings have responded with a 15-6 run with a minute 51 remaining in the first quarter. It's Sacramento 25, the Mavericks 23 on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
The Dallas Morning News has been running a full-court press since 1885. Always going hard in the print. With no timeouts. Don't miss breaking news on broken ankles. We cover the game from assist to zone D and everything in between. Visit dallasnews.com/Mavs for an exclusive digital offer.
This is the sound when you're hit with a $35 overdraft fee. And this is the sound when Chime Spot Me covers you on a debit card purchase with no overdraft fee. Chime is changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and they spot you instead of charging overdraft fees. Start banking through Chime today at Chime.com. Spot Me eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
Welcome to the NBA playoffs. The moment we've all been waiting for is here.
The fans now on the edge of their seats.
It's time to stay locked in to every single moment. Because you never know when history will be made. When it's win or go home, every moment matters. So don't miss a thing. NBA playoffs presented by Google begin today on ABC, ESPN, TNT, and NBA TV.
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
I'm Tyler Sloan at the Modelo Sports Desk. The Chicago Bulls season is over after Miami went into Chi-Town and beat the Bulls 109-90 in the 10-9 play-in game. Tyler Hero with a team-high 38 points. Davion Mitchell with 15 points and 9 assists off the bench. In fact, the Heat had double the amount of assists in the game, 30, as the Bulls did with 15. Chuck?
Sacramento on a 15-6 run has grabbed the lead over the Mavericks at 25-23, a minute 51 remaining in the first quarter. And Brian, one theme that we've been harping on over the last few weeks is three-point differential, not only in shots attempted, but shots made. And already in this game, the Mavericks are minus 12. Sacramento's made 5 of 9 from 3. The Mavericks are 1 of 5.
Yeah, math matters. It's boring, but it makes a difference. I know you want to wall up that paint. You got to close out on shooters. And on the other side, got to create those open looks and hit them when they're there.
Brandon Williams has checked in the game for the Mavericks out of the timeout after he played just 7 minutes in Memphis on Sunday. Came down with an oblique injury. And Mavericks are thrilled to have him available to play tonight. And again, to be able to play with the pace. There's a bad inbound pass by Martin. Tried to get it to Williams. Carter knocked that away, nearly stole it, but could not completely control it, and it went through the baseline.
Williams' speed going to be used. Already 10 Mavs players here in this first quarter. I think these are the 10 that are going to play in this game tonight.
Martin will try it again.
Boy, Williams lucky he's not called for a foul there.
And this time the Kings don't pressure, as Williams will bring it up against Carter. Left side of the floor, gets by. Carter went for the steal. Williams keeps the dribble, pumps but can't shoot. Hook it right corner. Washington along the baseline, met by Valanciunas to Gafford in the lane. Will turn and rattles in and out. And a foul.
Oh, late call.
Very late call by Brian Forte underneath. That'll put Gafford on the line.
You can see they're using those bigs as dump-off help after the penetration. This time Gafford, he couldn't slam it. He had to just try to teardrop it over. Valanciunas gets the foul call.
Daniel Gafford with a pair of free throws earlier in the quarter, just under 69% for the season. Hits the first one. Mavericks as a team, 77% for the season. That was 24th in the NBA. They were 6th in attempts at just over 23 per game.
Got to take advantage of your free throws. Little things are going to matter. The three-point line, free throws, rebounds, turnovers.
Gafford to get the game tied. And he can't. It's short. And the rebound taken by Lyles. Kings shooting to our left is Carter. Picked up full court by Brandon Williams. Across the line on the left. Bounces to DeRozan inside the arc against Caleb Martin. Circling is Murray. They don't get it to him. Across the way, Carter drives on Williams. Off-balance runner draws the foul on Williams, and he'll go to the line to shoot.
Yeah, DeRozan basically the decoy, drawing the traffic and then popping it out to Carter, who drove in on the smaller Williams. That's going to be somebody they're going to attack defensively.
So Devin Carter on the line. Good start for the Mavericks tonight. Has been overtaken by the Kings primarily because of the three-point shooting. Carter obviously now getting more run with the injury to Malik Monk. And even before that, the trade of De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. That's the deal that ultimately brought Zach LaVine here as part of the three-way trade with Chicago.
You want to take advantage of these minutes. Both teams with their reserves in, but no LaVine, no Sabonis. It's DeRozan running the show.
And so far, the 3 Kings reserve, all plus players. The Mavericks 5 reserves, all minus players. As Williams catch and shoot left wing 3. That's good.
Well, he doesn't look like there's any issue right now. He looks great.
A 40% three-point shooter, a spectacular month of March that has put him in the play-in rotation. DeRozan, long 3, no good. Rebound at the top of the circle taken by Martin, who comes up the left side with the game tied at 27. 45 seconds remaining. Drop pass Washington, left wing 3, no good. And the rebound off the floor taken by Lyles.
2 of 7 from deep.
DeRozan, right to Murray. Drives past Martin, met by Gafford, floats it in. Nice finish by Keegan Murray. And the Kings by 2, 29-27. Washington along the left side. The curling Williams coming down the lane and to the rim, blocked by Valanciunas. Taken out of there by DeRozan. And the shot clock off. Kings will play for the last shot of the quarter. Along the right side, It's DeRozan. Will work left off of Valanciunas. Martin stays with him, down to 8, 7, 6. Push it right to Lyles. Back to DeRozan, driving right. Got past Williams. Wrap around for Valanciunas. Was blocked by Williams, and he blocked it off of DeRozan standing on the baseline. A terrific play by Brandon Williams.
Got 2 seconds left. Can you get a shot off?
Into Washington from three-quarter court. Will fire it short as the horn sounds to end the first quarter. A seesaw first quarter, 9 lead changes and 4 ties. After an early 8-point Dallas lead, the Kings shoot 45%, but 5 of 10 from 3. The Mavericks shoot 46%, only 2 of 8 from 3. After 1, Sacramento 29, the Mavericks 27 on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
Still paying to park at the AAC? That's an alley-oops. Save big by riding Dart. Enjoy fast, convenient service right to the arena. And catch tip-off from your seat, not the parking lot. Plan your trip at dart.org/Mavs.
Winning doesn't just happen on game day. It happens every day of the week when you put in the work. That's how the Mavs do it. And it's what we love about Ford F-Series, the 48-year leader, and Ford SUVs, vehicles that offer the capability to handle everyday life. That's why Ford is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks and proud sponsor of Work Today to Win Tomorrow, based on 1977 to 2024 CY total sales.
Ford is the best in Texas.
TXU Energy is the trusted 5-star provider with plans to help you save no matter how you use energy. Whether that means you're a work-from-homer, a stay-up-all-nighter, a newfound EV driver, a solar panel adopter, or a recent mover, they've got a plan just for you. And a total satisfaction guarantee means they stand behind every single plan. Discover why more Texans choose TXU Energy than any other provider by visiting TXU.com today. TXU Energy. Energy for everything.
Visit TXU.com for more information. Rep number 10004.
Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs!
Still paying to park at the AAC? That's an alley-oops. Save big by riding Dart. Enjoy fast, convenient service right to the arena. And catch tip-off from your seat, not the parking lot. Plan your trip at dart.org/Mavs.
Go! 97.1 The Eagle. The radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Chuck Cooperstein along with Brian Damaris at the Golden One Center in Sacramento. 1 quarter down in the 9-10 play-in game, and the Kings with a 29-27 lead after the Mavericks had built an early 8-point advantage and ultimately a 15-6 run that got Sacramento the lead, and then back and forth we went. Right now, the difference in the game, 5 of 10 shooting for the Kings from 3, 2 of 8 from deep for the Mavericks.
And also 7 fast break points for the Kings, none for the Mavs. You want to get some freebies, easy buckets in transition, not always have to play against a set defense, even off live rebounds, not just turnovers. Go start running and execute on that side too.
Mavericks will start the second quarter with Brandon Williams, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, P.J. Washington, and Derek Lively. Sabonis is back in for the Kings. And playing with Murray, Levine, Ellis, and Trey Lyles. And it'll be Sacramento's ball to start the second quarter. They shoot to our left in black. The Mavericks in white shoot to our right as Lyles shovels it into Ellis. And Ellis picked up full court by Brandon Williams as he brings it across the line. Knocked Williams down. No foul call. Over the head bounce pass left to an open Lyles for 3. That's an air ball wide right, but Murray came up with a rebound. Throws it back out to Lyles. He'll drive, met by Washington and Lively. Pumps, dropped it off to no one except for Williams, who pushes it left to right on the drive through the lane. Marshall back to the trailing Washington. Will come down the lane behind him. Marshall will take a 3 from the right wing, and that's no good. And the rebound tipped out beyond the arc, taken by Sabonis. Up the right side against Klay Thompson. That Marshall 3, that's the one that's got to be made in transition. The Mavericks have struggled with so much. Here's Sabonis, right elbow into the lane. Bounce pass left corner, Lyles. Closed down on by Lively. to Sabonis against Washington. 5 to shoot. Sabonis show and go. Got inside Washington, missed the layup. Rebound off the hands of Lyles. Loose on the floor. Lyles comes out of there with it. Another offensive rebound for Sacramento.
Kings just a step quicker.
Here's Sabonis, the handoff to Levine. And I thought there might have been an offensive foul call. No whistle. Has Sabonis tied up by Lively. Flips it on up. No good. And finally, Thompson the rebound for the Mavericks.
3 seconds. Where's that call?
Here comes Williams. Screen by Lively. Top of the circle. Down the lane. Lost the ball. Makes the save on the baseline. Wrap around left corner. Washington. Run off the line by Lyles. And the floater is good from the left of the lane.
Mavericks just got to calm down. Play their game.
Washington was 6. The game tied at 29. The 5th time the game's been tied. There have been 9 lead changes. Sabonis against Lively. Inside pivot. Cutting was Levine. At least Sabonis thought he was going to cut. Levine never got there. There was the steal by Lively. Now a bad pass by Marshall trying to get it to Lively. Sabonis with the intercept.
Wasn't even close.
Here comes Sabonis on the trot, off to his left. Got a little Gortat screen from Lyles. Went up, blocked by Lively. Taken down by Williams. Mavericks try to push it. Here comes Williams, right to left drive. Hang in the lane. That's no good. Wide left. And Lyles with a rebound for the Kings.
Can't take advantage of these transition ops.
Up to Murray. Catch and shoot. Left wing 3. No good. Long rebound to Thompson. They run the other way. Nobody can get anything to go right now as Thompson drives to the trailing Lively, makes the catch, reverses it back out, left wing Williams for 3.
Welcome back, Brandon Williams. Again, the Mavs are walling off that paint defensively. The Kings are 4 of 12 inside the arc. They're 5 of 12 from outside.
32-29, Mavericks with the lead. Sabonis left alone for 3. That's going to be short, tipped out by Lyles, controlled by Thompson. Thompson pushes from right to left to the top of the arc, veers wider to the left. Now again left with a screen from Lively, pulls up, drop it to Lively, through the lane, right corner Marshall, out to Williams again for 3. Yes!
Oh.
Brandon Williams, red hot, and a timeout by Doug Christie. An 8-0 run for the Mavericks, and they retake the lead by 6 with 9:02 remaining in the first half. The Mavericks 35, the Kings 29 in the play-in game on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
This is the sound when you're hit with a $35 overdraft fee. And this is the sound when Chime Spot Me covers you on a debit card purchase with no overdraft fee. Chime is changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and they spot you instead of charging overdraft fees. Start banking through Chime today at Chime.com. Spot Me eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
Replacing your floors can be a struggle, but it doesn't have to be. At Floret, we have a better way. Floret is a company dedicated to revolutionizing the flooring industry and taking the hassle out of updating your floors. We provide premium, sustainable flooring crafted with only the finest materials and finishes to add style and elegance to any space. Our floors are quality tested to make sure they do more than look good. They're pet-proof, kid-proof, waterproof, and life-proof too. No hassle, no fuss. Just great-looking floors. A beautiful space starts with a beautiful floor. Find yours today at Floret.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Tragically, recent data reveals that 40% of women in Texas will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. Genesis is dedicated to breaking the cycle of domestic violence by providing shelter, healing, and counseling. Our mission is to create a supportive environment that empowers survivors to take their first steps toward lasting safety and independence. Thomas Shea Henry stands with Genesis in the unwavering commitment to end domestic violence. Donate today at genesisshelter.org.
Go! 97.1 The Eagle. The radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Subscribe to Mavs TV today for only $14.99 to catch all the round 1 playoff action. Mavs TV, the official streaming platform of the Mavericks, brings you Mavs 24/7, including live games, replays, original shows, and behind-the-scenes content. Visit Mavs.com/Mavs TV to subscribe today. An 8-0 run for the Mavericks. That includes back-to-back threes from Brandon Williams, has given Dallas a 35-29 lead, 9:02 remaining in the first half.
As recently as yesterday, it didn't look good that Brandon Williams was going to play in this game. He's their leading scorer with 9 points, and it's not just the threes he's hitting. It's the speed, it's the penetration, it's the ball handling. I don't know about you, Chuck, but I want to see him on the court a lot tonight.
Well, it's hard to believe that a guy who was a two-way player who really wasn't playing very much prior to March may very well be the guy that provides the juice to what this offense has really been lacking.
He was signed to a standard contract on Saturday. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. But again, that energy is infectious. That's what you need. They don't really have that true ball handling. He provides that, and he's going to stay in there as long as he's effective.
Sacramento ball as we resume. They shoot to our left, and Zach LaVine's back in the game to inbound the ball.
Again, it's Game 7 mentality. Minutes, Friday, not on the radar.
DeMar DeRozan back in as well for the Kings as Ellis now will bring it up against Brandon Williams. Drops it to Sabonis, top of the circle against Derek Lively. Put it on the floor once and holds. LaVine comes around left to right. Met by Lively on the switch. Back out to Ellis over Williams for three, and it's good. Keon Ellis, a terrific three-point shooter, 43% for the season. And that was the first make for the Kings here in the second quarter. They had been 0-5.
50% of their shots from deep for a team that shoots 23%, 24% in the league in threes. Three-point rate.
Here's Thompson, right to left, pull up, left wing three, rattles in and out and in as he finally gets one to fall in this building. After he went 0-10 in the play-in game last year for the Warriors, he missed his first two tonight, but he gets that one to go.
So that can be a sign of things to come.
38-32, Mavericks lead it. Nearly 4 minutes gone. LaVine to the right elbow and fades away from Lively. In and out from 15, and Washington way upstairs for the rebound for the Mavericks. To Marshall up the left side as he's back in the game. Back to Washington on the drive. Little bump and knocks down the runner as he put the shoulder into Sabonis to create the space to score.
They're playing the game that's being called. These refs are letting it go. It's playoff basketball.
8 points for Washington on 4 of 6 shooting. And the Mavericks again by 8, matching their biggest lead of the game. LaVine turns the corner right to left and knocks down the three. Got a great screen from Sabonis to free him up.
Sabonis has set a couple of great screens now. Really physical.
40-35. Here's Thompson, Lively, hand back to Thompson. Quick release three, right wing, good on the clothesline for Thompson.
Shooters are just a different breed. They just need to see one go in.
The Mavericks 43, the Kings 35, 7:15 remaining in the first half. Sabonis, drop pass to the right on the drive. DeRozan met by Lively, comes out the other side on the dribble at the elbow. Now back to his left, had to give it up behind him to LaVine against Najee Marshall. He'll put it on the floor. Behind him, DeRozan, left corner three, no good. Rebound, Thompson lost it, and a loose ball foul called against the Mavericks.
P.J. Washington.
Then Taylor makes the call. And Washington gets called for his first foul, and the first on the Mavericks in the second quarter as Exum and Davis check back in the game for the Mavericks. Williams and Lively sit down, and what a 7-minute run for Brandon Williams. 9 points, including 3 of 3 from behind the three-point line as DeRozan on the drive. Fades away from Davis, banked it, missed it. Offensive rebound, Sabonis missed it again. I think Davis may have gotten a piece of that one. It comes down to Exum on the drive, coast to coast. He lays it up, no good, falls off the rim, will go to the line to shoot.
Boy, great job. That's what Exum does, just takes it coast to coast and shaking on that right wrist.
Keon Ellis gets called for the foul.
And again, that defense inside, 4 of 16 inside the arc. There's 7 of 16 outside the arc. There's just nothing inside for the Kings.
And actually give credit for that block to Washington as opposed to Davis. They were both there and both made it almost impossible for Sabonis to get that in the basket.
Well, that's that length you have in the front court now with Davis, Najee Marshall, Washington. You have Exum as a guard. That's what you want, size, length, versatility.
In the Mavericks starting lineup tonight, no one smaller than 6'6", as Exum hits the first one. And in their rotation, Brandon Williams is the only one who is smaller than 6'5". As Levine to his right, screen by Sabonis. Behind him for Ellis, tipped away by Exum. On the steal, spins it, laid off to Marshall and drops it in at the front of the rim. And a timeout by Doug Christie as the Mavericks have opened up a double-figure lead with 6:26 remaining in the first half. It's the Mavericks 47 and the Kings 35 in the play-in game on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
Panini, the exclusive trading card and sticker partner of the NBA, is the home for your favorite Dallas Mavericks collectibles. From trading cards to signed memorabilia, Panini is the place to collect your favorite Mavs players. From high-flying dunks to amazing triple-doubles, go to Panini Instant to get the hottest player highlight cards fresh off the presses. Don't miss out on all the rookie moments to veteran performances. Go to iCollectPanini.com. Who do you collect?
Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs!
There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. Jack could have been like any other whiskey. Instead, we charcoal mellow every drop through 10 feet of hard sugar maple charcoal. We use water from Cave Spring Hollow in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's no coincidence that Jack is what it is today. Because when you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels, an old number 7 registered trademark. 2022 Jack Daniels, all rights reserved.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients. Made fresh and by hand. Made with a smile to put a smile on your face. Made for special occasions or no occasion at all. Made with gratitude for every customer we get to serve. Most of all, every hamburger, cheeseburger, and double-double is made to order just for you.
That's what a hamburger's all about. Go!
97.1 The Eagle. The radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas, Fort Worth.
At the Modelo Sports Desk, I'm Tyler Sloan. Tyler Hero went 13 of 19 from the field tonight and led the Heat with 38 points in a 109-90 victory over the Chicago Bulls. Miami advances to play the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta on Friday at 6 o'clock Central Time. That will be for the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference to take on the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. The winner of the Mavericks-Kings game will take on the Memphis Grizzlies at 8:30 on Friday. Chuck?
Starting a new business is complicated. Let Zen Business be your guide. They've helped over 700,000 businesses officially launch, protect, and grow a business using their worry-free services, award-winning customer support, and personalized dashboard. Launch your business today at zenbusiness.com. That's zenbusiness.com. A terrific second quarter for the Mavericks in the first 5.5 minutes. They have outscored the Kings 20-6. They've shot 7 of 9 from the floor, including 4 of 5 from 3, a pair of threes from Williams, a pair of threes from Thompson, and they've held the Kings to 2 of 12 from the floor.
They've gotten 4 fast break points. They're winning the bench battle 18-8, 54% shooting overall, 46 from deep. They've cut that 3-point deficit now down to just 3 points, and they are walling off that paint, making it very difficult for a non-point guard Sacramento team to get into their offense.
Sacramento's ball as we resume. As Murray will get it into Levine. Picked up at three-quarter court by Najee Marshall. Now runs it up the right side as Marshall stays with him. Screen by Sabonis to free him up. Deep right side. Through the lane. Finds Murray left corner. Back out to DeRozan. Stop and go. Got around Washington. He'll float it up and in as Davis couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, just got a step there on Washington.
It's 11 for DeMar DeRozan. And it's a 10-point Maverick lead at 47-37. Here's Thompson. Right to left to Exum. Play by Levine. Above the break to the curling Thompson. Got away from Ellis for 3.
He's shaking it off. The mind of a goldfish.
You have goldfish in your house? You've seen what goldfish do?
They forget everything. If it's a bad shot, they just shake it off.
The other end, they run a little pick and roll and get Ellis open down low, and he dunks it home, 50-39. 5.5 to play in the first half. Exum circles right to left off of Davis. Keeps the dribble against Levine. Now popping out. Thompson behind it. Davis screen. And there's the fourth three of the half for Klay Thompson.
You asked for Klay to get going. He is getting going.
All 12 of his points here in the second quarter. And the Mavericks by 14, 53-39. Levine to his right. Picks up the dribble. Back out to Murray. Right of the circle in the middle for Sabonis. Hand off to DeRozan. Fake left and go right against Washington. Fake right. Can't get it off. Washington, great defense. Out to Ellis against Exum. He'll pull up and force a three. And it almost went in. And it's going to be goaltending, I think.
It should be.
It is. Ben Taylor calls it. As Davis touched it, I'm not sure what he was trying to do with that. But it's a 3-point field goal for the Kings.
I think he thought that there was a foul called and the play was dead. And so it was one of those late shots where you see players kind of tipping the ball so it doesn't go in the basket.
Okay, so they called a foul on Exum.
They're counting the
and they're counting the basket as well, so it's a chance for four.
I don't know if this is worth reviewing. It did look on the replay like he got a piece of it before. Oh, that's going to be three.
That is brutal.
You can see here on the replay, he touches it actually, but it's not going to hit the rim. They're gonna, and I think that's what Jason Kidd's talking about. He needs to review this.
He's looking down his bench, and they're not giving him the answer.
Oh, that's...
And there's the 4-point play for Keon Ellis.
Yeah, that's 4 points right there. You just got to go pull the trigger on the replay.
And Keon Ellis now with 9 points in the game. 53-43. Exum backdoor. Thompson goes up, fouled, and he'll go to the line as he beat Ellis to the rim.
So just to explain what happened on that last play, the ball was falling short of the rim. That's when Davis hit it, and he hit it up towards the rim area, so it actually wasn't goaltending, although it looked like that.
So Thompson now will go to the line to shoot. Klay Thompson, 90.5% from the line this year. And tell you what, again, shooters are like cornerbacks in football. You have to have a very, very short memory.
That's what a goldfish does, yes. And so, you never watched Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Yeah, the mind of a goldfish. You got to just forget it, shake it off.
Again, last year, Thompson 0 of 10 from the floor in this building when the Warriors got blown out. Tonight, he's got 14 all here in the second quarter, including 4 of 6 from three. And the Mavericks with a 55-43 lead. And as the Kings bring the ball up, Mark Davis calls a holding foul on Najee Marshall.
This is why you brought Klay Thompson in. Look, regular season, that's nice. You brought him in for the playoffs, and he is starting from game one that he's ready.
Inbound to Sabonis. Hand off to Murray. Off of Sabonis. Drop it off for Sabonis in the lane. And Thompson trying to knock it away from him. Missed him. And Sabonis able to lay it up and in. Just his second basket of the game. Exum along the left side. Davis out top. Thompson overplayed by Carter. Had to go to the left to Exum instead. Exum turns the corner left to right. Runner in the lane is good.
Boy, they just left him wide open after those double screens right there. No double drag.
And Dante Exum now with 6 points in the game. The Mavericks up to 58% shooting and 8 of 15 from three. They lead by 12. DeRozan, left side of the lane, into the lane, through the lane, to the right to Murray against Thompson. Spins, met by a double team with Thompson and Gafford. Finds Sabonis in the lane, and he misses, comes up short, late whistle. They call the foul on Gafford.
But you can see how difficult it is for the Kings to find anything inside the paint. Their scoring has been on some cuts and some flashes towards the rim, but the regular half-court offense just hasn't been there.
So, in Sabonis, who averages 19, 14, and 6 so far in the first half in 17 minutes, 4 points on 2 of 8 shooting for a guy who is shooting 59% for the season, 8th in the league in field goal percentage, and he misses the first free throw.
Well, he gets the ball at the elbow. It's a lot of dribble handoff. You know, Fox and Sabonis played that pick and roll. But if he's going to back somebody in, he's not doing it against this team with Davis and Gafford in there.
Brandon Williams back in the game for the Mavericks to replace Exum.
Yeah, just get you some Gatorade, Williams. Get it back out there. You're young.
Well, Exum, 6 points, 5 assists.
This team,
no turnovers in the first half.
Amazing how they get healthy at the right time.
Oh, the Mavericks, who really struggle with turnovers of late, have done a terrific job here in the first half, just 3 of them, as Williams puts the speed on and whips it left corner. Washington 3 is short, and the rebound in the lane taken by Murray of Sacramento. Murray around Washington, met by Davis, out of control, falling out of bounds. Saved by Carter, left wing. Out to DeRozan at the top. Crossover right to left. At the dotted line, now behind him to Murray. Murray on the move, at the block, left-handed, and it hit the bottom of the backboard, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Dallas ball.
They are just out of sync offensively, and this is what the blueprint is for this Mavs team defensively. Really make it hard for them to get anything going. And without a point guard, it's hard for them to, they're just playing isolation basketball trying to beat their man, but there's tall trees inside.
P.J. Washington will bring it up for the Mavericks. Along the left side with 3:10 remaining in the first half. The Mavericks 57, the Kings 46, and Washington on the drive, fouled as he tried to finish with the left hand. Couldn't do it. He'll go to the line to shoot.
There's your free throws, 9 and 10. 57% overall, 50% from 3, 88% from the free throw line. Really played well.
The foul on Sabonis. First one on Sabonis.
You're keeping this pressure on this final 3:06. This crowd has been taken out of the game. Don't let them get any sniff of trying to get back in it.
First one from Washington is good for his 9th point. PJ, 14.7 points, 7.8 rebounds during the season. As Sabonis leaves and Valanciunas will take his place. And Doug Christie looking for some answers right now because he doesn't have a whole lot on the offensive end.
And defensively, he is scrambling with these bigs, just penetrating inside. 18 points in the paint.
Second one from Washington is good. For PJ in the game here in December, the 19-point first quarter. When the Mavericks built an 18-point lead, they couldn't hold on that night. Lost by 10. They're up 13 right now with 3 minutes to play in the half. 59-46. Here's Levine. Left to right. Pick and roll with Valanciunas, and another steal for Thompson. Here comes Thompson on the drive to the rim, coast to coast, to lay it up and in.
Thompson now with 16. That veteran leadership. He's been here.
All in the second quarter. 16. 61-46. And DeMar DeRozan trying to answer the other end with a drive, got in time to score.
He just bullied his way all the way to the rim.
61-48 down low, bad pass, but Davis able to make the catch and score. That was not the best pass Brandon Williams could have thrown. Davis made a great play to catch it, turn and finish it.
He sealed his man while the ball was midair and got it and got to go in.
63-48, DeRozan, top of the circle, at the foul line, pulls up over Gafford, short, and the rebound to Washington, and he'll push it. 4-on-3, right down the middle, to the rim, hit the underside of the backboard, tried to finish it, and a foul against the Kings.
Really late. I don't mind it, but my goodness.
It's a loose ball foul called by Ben Taylor. It's not on the shot, but the ball was kind of headed the other way when the whistle blew.
Oh, that's a good call. DeRozan just shoved Gafford.
So DeRozan picks up his second. And team foul number 4 against the Kings. As Williams will inbound as Sabonis comes right back in. For the Kings, they go with the 2 bigs now with Sabonis and Valanciunas. Davis in the right wing against Sabonis. On the handle, crossing right to left, out to Washington, coming right down the lane. Shot blocked by Valanciunas, picked up by Davis, gets it away in time. That's no good. Gafford offensive rebound, put it back up and in.
Oh, it's double bigs versus double bigs. Valanciunas pays off on his end, but Gafford makes the bucket.
65-48 with 1:35 remaining in the first half. Bad pass by Levine to Sabonis, and as he tried to gather it in, couldn't hold on. It goes out of bounds.
They're all out of sorts, and now we've imposed our will and made them play double bigs, which comes to our benefit.
Brandon Williams will bring it up for the Mavericks. This team was prepared to play tonight. Williams to Davis, will take the 3, left of the circle, he hits!
That's when you know things are going well right there, and they have opened up a 20-point lead.
And Doug Christie taking a timeout. The Kings have only 3 timeouts remaining, with 1:21 remaining in the first half, and the Mavericks up 20, and interestingly enough, in all 4 of the play-in games, there has been a 20-point lead in the first half of every one of the games.
Wow. Well, look, Let's make some history.
Well, let's do that. Again, 10 seeds since the NBA went to the 10-team play-in are 2-6 coming into this year. That happened both in 2023 when the Bulls won and the Pelicans won, but they could not win the next game in order to get into the regular playoff draw. No number 10 seed has ever made it to the actual playoff round. That's what the Mavericks are trying to get done, and they're off to a tremendous start in doing that.
Well, you got to understand, this Mavericks team's at 10th wouldn't be 10th if they were running this roster out there. This team is healthy, and they're playing hard. They're playing physical. They have a good game plan. They're responding to their coach. It's an us versus them mentality, and I think, frankly, Chuck, playing on the road might benefit them to have that bunker mentality, have the right mindset. We've talked about it all year, how they respond to Jason Kidd, and the game plan is right, and the players are responding to it and executing it.
The Mavericks, 14 of 21 shooting here in the second quarter, 7 of 10 from three. They have made 9 3-pointers in the first half. Again, this is a team that in its last 10 games has made 10 3-pointers only twice in victories against Atlanta and Toronto. What a welcome sight this has been as the Kings have it with DeRozan around the arc, left to right. Right corner, Devin Carter. Steps back, doesn't shoot. Out to DeRozan against Gafford, right to left. Doesn't shoot, and then throws the ball away as Murray had slid down toward the corner, and DeRozan threw it right next to Doug Christie.
The Pooh Birds are out in Sacramento.
The natives indeed getting a bit restless. It's an 11-2 run by the Mavericks right now. Off the double screen to the left comes Williams, hook it back out, and a 10 a.m. three for Davis is good! Outside the arc from the right of the circle.
It is last two, 71-48.
45 seconds remaining in the half. Levine, right to left. Levine, offensive foul on Sabonis as he nailed P.J. Washington trying to get over that screen, and that is 2 fouls on Sabonis. And another Sacramento turnover. They now have 11 here in the first half.
You know what the score of the Heat Bulls game was at halftime? 71-47. This game, 71-48. Both road teams coming out really strong, but they got to play a second half too.
The final 39 seconds of the half as Williams runs it up to his right this time. Played on the switch. Now Davis at the nail, backing down against Levine. Put the shoulder right side. Williams load up the three. Air ball off the hands of Gafford, picked up by Levine. Final 20 seconds of the half. Along the right side, across the way to DeRozan. And slowly toward the middle of the floor from the left. Down to 10 and 9. Wide right. Stop and go on Davis, and then Gafford from the weak side swats it into the first row as we pause for station identification on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
KEGL Fort Worth, Dallas. Raw at 97.1, The Eagle.
Final 5 seconds. Levine from the baseline right to inbound the ball. Looking, throw it into Sabonis at the elbow. Turning to his left in Gafford, met by Davis, threw it right to Washington. And what a classic example of what the Mavericks believe is going to work for them on that defensive sequence.
8 of 22 inside the arc for the Sacramento Kings. That is what the defense just walled off inside. There's nothing to do. They're completely out of sync, and the Mavericks executing their game plan the other way. With the points in the paint, they're spreading around, they're sucking the defense in and then popping it out for those threes, and they're converting those 10 of 20 threes, and they are actually up now after being at that deficit in the first quarter. They're now up at halftime, and what a perfect half of basketball.
A 44-point second quarter for the Mavericks. They outscore the Kings 44-19 in the second. They shoot 15 of 22 from the floor, 8 of 12 from three. They hold the Kings to 7 of 19 shooting, and the Kings not helping themselves with the turnovers. 12 turnovers in the first half for 12 Dallas points, but again, so much of that created by the pressure that the two big defense is putting on in the lane. They just have nowhere to go with the ball.
They're completely out of sync. When you don't have a point guard, it's this isolation basketball, one-on-one if they're not playing in transition, and there's just nowhere to go because if you get by one big, there's another big there, and you have the long-ranging hands of Marshall and Washington, etc.
The Mavericks shoot 56.5%, 10 of 20 from 3, 9 of 10 from the line, led by 16 from Klay Thompson, all here in the second quarter. 12 for Anthony Davis and 5 rebounds, 10 for P.J. Washington, and 9 big ones from Brandon Williams that really got this thing started at the beginning of the second quarter. The Kings shoot 41%, 8 of 17 from 3, led by 13 from DeMar DeRozan, the only King in double figures. Halftime in Sacramento in the play-in game. The Mavericks 71, the Kings 48. Tyler Sloan with highlights in the first half, the rest of the night in the NBA and in the sporting world. And that is from the Modelo Sports Desk and is coming your way next on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
This is the sound when you're hit with a $35 overdraft fee. And this is the sound when Chime Spot Me covers you on a debit card purchase with no overdraft fee. Chime is changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and they spot you instead of charging overdraft fees. Start banking through Chime today at Chime.com. Spot Me eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
Mavericks fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them in real life. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Mavericks and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Maverick stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on a hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Dallas.
Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs!
There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. Jack could have been like any other whiskey. Instead, we charcoal mellow every drop through 10 feet of hard sugar maple charcoal. We use water from Cave Spring Hollow in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's no coincidence that Jack is what it is today. Because when you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels, an old number 7 registered trademark. 2022 Jack Daniels, all rights reserved.
This is the sound when you're hit with a $35 overdraft fee. And this is the sound when Chime Spot Me covers you on a debit card purchase with no overdraft fee. Chime is changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and they spot you instead of charging overdraft fees. Start banking through Chime today at Chime.com. Spot Me eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs!
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
It's time now for the halftime show on the Mavs Radio Network.
Tyler Sloan here with you at the Modelo Sports Desk, and what an amazing second quarter that was for the Dallas Mavericks. They outscored the Sacramento Kings 44-19 in the second alone, and they lead here at the half 71-48. That is a 23-point margin in that first half. Klay Thompson, leading scorer for the Mavs, with 16 all in the second quarter. He went 4 of 6 from downtown in the second. Anthony Davis with 12 points. P.J. Washington with 10, 9 apiece from Najee Marshall and Brandon Williams, as very balanced scoring for the Mavs in that first half, in which they shot 56.5% from the field as a team. They knocked down 10 of 20 from three-point range and 9 of 10 at the foul line. Sacramento in the meantime, shot 41% in the first half, 8 of 17 from three-point range, good for 47%, and 8 of 9 at the foul line. Their leading scorer, DeMar DeRozan, has 13. He's the only Sacramento player in double-figure scoring. The Mavs also forcing 12 Kings turnovers in that first half, and the Mavs committed just 3. That's a big reason why the Mavericks have the lead. Let's check out the first half highlights as both teams were trading the lead back and forth in the opening minutes of the game. The Mavs were down 7-6 when a wild and wacky play ended in a P.J. Washington slam.
To his right, hook it back left. Washington shot fake, put it on the floor, and up top for Lively, and he backed it off the heel of the rim, and it came right out of the rim, and it got to Davis at the right wing for 3, no good. Rebound, Washington, and he stuffs it on the follow.
8-7 Mavs with 9:15 to play in the first quarter. Three-point shooting would be critical for the Mavs at the start of this game. About a minute later, Najee Marshall had the chance to bury the first Mavs 3 of the game.
Davis along the right side, again spins on Murray, some help from Sabonis this time, crossed the way to Washington, touch pass Marshall, left corner 3 is good.
That's what you...
11-7 Mavs with 8:10 to play in the first. It was a 9-0 run by the Mavs to open up an early gap at 15-7. Sacramento found their range with Zach LaVine and Trey Lyles hitting threes as part of a 10-2 Kings run, and they tied the game at 17 apiece. Dante Exum wasted little time pushing the pace and sent the Mavs back in front on the scoreboard.
For Sacramento as Exum runs it up on Carter. Little shoulder into him and able to lay it in at the right of the rim.
Mavs up 19-17 with 4:10 to go in the opening quarter. Sacramento took the lead back after Devin Carter knocked down a triple. The Kings were 5 for 9 to start the game behind the arc. The Kings led 27-24 with 1:15 left in the first when Brandon Williams came off the bench and gave the Mavs a big lift.
The Mavericks 5, the Mavs reserves all minus players as Williams catch and shoot left wing 3. That's good.
Just the second Mavs three-pointer of the first quarter, tied at 27 all with a minute remaining in the first. Keegan Murray would make a bucket in the final minute and give Sacramento the slight lead at the end of the first, 29-27. It was a rock fight to begin the second quarter with both teams turning the ball over and struggling to make shots. The guy who showed he could be counted on to make key shots was Brandon Williams.
To the trailing Lively, makes the catch, reverses it back out, left wing Williams for 3.
Welcome back, Brandon Williams.
And that was the start of it all in the second quarter for the Mavs. 32-29, back in the lead with 9.5 to play in the second. Williams hit another 3 on the next offensive possession, and Doug Christie had to use a Kings timeout after a Mavs 8-0 run. Williams starting 3 for 3 today from deep. It wasn't only Williams hitting from downtown in the second quarter as Klay Thompson used every bit of the rim for his first hit from distance.
Here's Thompson right to left, pull up left wing 3, rattles in and out and in as he finally gets one to fall in this building.
38-32, Mavs ahead by 6 with 8:25 to go in the second quarter. The Mavericks were relentless, taking advantage of some sloppy mistakes by the Kings. Dante Exum picked up a bad pass and dished it off to Najee Marshall.
Play by Levine, above the break to the curling Thompson, got away from Ellis for 3.
Well, 20-6, the Mavs start to the second quarter as they elevated their lead to 12, 47-35 with 6:25 remaining in the second. And after another Kings timeout, DeMar DeRozan would score at the rim, but defensively the Kings had no answer as Klay Thompson stayed in fuego. Mavs up with 5:55 to play in the half at 50-37. Thompson hit a fourth 3 about 30 seconds later. The Mavs 6 for 7 to start the second quarter from behind the arc. The Mavericks increased their lead to a high mark of 17 points as the Mavs big started to dominate inside. Daniel Gafford with the putback on the offensive glass.
Picked up by Davis, gets it away in time. That's no good. Gafford offensive rebound, put it back up and in.
1:35 left in the half. The Mavericks in front 65-48. Anthony Davis then bagged a three-pointer to move the lead up to 20, and maybe that locked AD in because he decided he liked the sound of back-to-back trays.
Off the double screen to the left comes Williams, hook it back out, and a 10 a.m. 3 for Davis is good! Outside the arc from the right of the circle.
It is.
40 seconds to go in the half, 71-48 the score, and that's how it would remain with the Mavs leading by 23 at halftime. Elsewhere, the Miami Heat defeat the Chicago Bulls tonight 109-90. Miami moves on to play the Atlanta Hawks on Friday evening. That'll be for the eighth seed in the Eastern Conference. The winner will move on to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in a best-of-7 series. Also, some other scores from other sports action tonight. The Stars fell by a score of 5-1 to the Predators in Nashville. That's the last regular season game for the Stars. They'll take on the Colorado Avalanche in the Western Conference quarterfinals this weekend in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm Tyler Sloan. That does it for halftime. We'll take you back to the Golden One Center with Chuck Cooperstein and Brian Damaris for the third quarter next on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
TXU Energy is the trusted 5-star provider with plans to help you save no matter how you use energy. Whether that means you're a work-from-homer, a stay-up-all-nighter, a newfound EV driver, a solar panel adopter, or a recent mover, they've got a plan just for you. And a total satisfaction guarantee means they stand behind every single plan. Discover why more Texans choose TXU Energy than any other provider by visiting TXU.com today. TXU Energy. Energy for everything.
Visit TXU.com for more information. Rep number 10004.
Winning doesn't just happen on game day. It happens every day of the week when you put in the work. That's how the Mavs do it. And it's what we love about Ford F-Series, the 48-year leader, and Ford SUVs, vehicles that offer the capability to handle everyday life. That's why Ford is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks and proud sponsor of Work Today to Win Tomorrow, based on 1977 to 2024 CY total sales.
Ford is the best in Texas.
As an educator, I want to ignite a fire within my students, to push them to dig deeper, question more, and create something beautiful. And with guaranteed lifetime income from TIAA, I'm able to focus more on helping my students define and change their futures, because I know TIAA is there helping take care of mine. Work passionately, retire confidently. Learn more at TIAA.org/neverrunout. Annuities issued by Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association of America, New York, New York. Guarantees subject to its claims paying ability.
Panini, the exclusive trading card and sticker partner of the NBA, is the home for your favorite Dallas Mavericks collectibles. From trading cards to signed memorabilia, Panini is the place to collect your favorite Mavs players. From high-flying dunks to amazing triple-doubles, go to Panini Instant to get the hottest player highlight cards fresh off the presses. Don't miss out on all the rookie moments to veteran performances. Go to iCollectPanini.com. Who do you collect?
Hey, Mavs fans, still paying to park at the AAC? That's an alley-oops. Save big by riding Dart. Only Dart gives MFFLs more hoops and less hassle. Why pay more to get to the game? Enjoy fast, convenient service right to the arena. Just ride Dart Rail or the TRE to Victory Station and catch tip-off from your seat, not the parking lot. Plan your trip at dart.org/Mavs.
The Dallas Morning News has been running a full-court press since 1885. Always going hard in the print, with no timeouts. Don't miss breaking news on broken ankles. We cover the game from assist to zone D and everything in between. Visit dallasnews.com/Mavs for an exclusive digital offer.
Go. 97.1 The Eagle. Radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Chuck Cooperstein and Brian Damaris at Golden One Center in Sacramento. Start of the third quarter of the 9-10 play-in game. The Mavericks with a 71-48 lead on the strength of a 44-point second quarter. Their second highest scoring quarter in any quarter this season, only exceeded by the 46 at Golden State back in mid-December. Also, Brian, the first time since the Washington game at the end of January that the Mavericks have scored 70 and a half. And that was in the first half of that game, only the fifth time all year that they've had 70 or more in the first half.
12 Sacramento turnovers. The Mavs forced for 12 points off turnovers. Only 3 Mavs turnovers for 2 points off those turnovers. Another key aspect of this game.
Not to mention 10 3-pointers for the Mavericks in 20 attempts after just 2 games in their prior 10 where they had made 10 or more 3-pointers in a game.
Look, Mike Christie. Doug Christie is a proud guy. He's going to have his team fired up to swing one punch. Can you withstand that, keep the pressure and the force on, and put this game away?
The Kings have it to begin the third quarter in their black uniforms. The white numbers and letters, white and purple striping down the sides. They shoot to our right in the second half with the Kings script across the chest. The Mavericks in their white uniforms, royal blue numbers, navy blue letters and trim around the shoulders and waist. Dallas across the chest, and the Mavericks will shoot to our left. Here come the Kings with DeRozan at the bottom of the jump circle, watched by Davis. Levine pops out to get it, hands off to DeRozan. Still outside the arc, now will drive to his right, and at the dotted line and over Davis, he hits.
Yeah, Davis thought he was going all the way to the rim, looking for some help there on that mid-range.
DeMar DeRozan, the only King in double figures. He's got 15. 71-50, Najee Marshall in the jump circle. Now looking toward his right, Thompson will come and get it. Left-hand push across the way to Davis. Play by Keegan Murray with a screen from Thompson. Davis trying to spin on Ellis in the lane, and on the run, he hits the deck and he draws the foul.
And again, you can't put too much attention on him because Lively was right there underneath the basket for a lob. If you put two on him, that is the key of that double big lineup. And so he draws the foul here.
Well, also, Klay Thompson was wide open at the left wing, and Davis easily could have passed it there, and Klay is on tonight.
Yes. You want to get those looks from outside, suck that defense in, pop out. Defensively, they're doing what they're doing, walling off that paint. Does Sacramento have enough three-point shooting to get back into this game? That's going to be interesting. Will they attempt enough? And can the Mavs continue to force turnovers and get those points off them?
Devin Carter checks in for Keon Ellis. That foul was on Ellis, and that's his fourth. So Doug Christie has to go to his bench.
One of their best defenders.
In the first 44 seconds as Davis sinks 2 free throws, 14 points for him. And the Mavericks with a 73-50 lead as DeRozan comes up the left side. And now we'll drive to his right on Marshall. Handoff to Carter over Washington for 3. That's way off. Foul line rebound to Davis. Hands off to Washington. And that was a bad-looking shot from Devin Carter. That one not close. Washington backing down, turns out to Davis at the top, drives past Murray on the run, draws the foul. Oh, no, they're going to wave it off and call the foul beforehand. Mark Davis with the foul on Keegan Murray. And a side out of bounds for the Mavericks. After the second team foul against Golden State, against Sacramento, excuse me. Washington on the inbound. Davis on the drive, up top, Lively, throw it down, left to the rim.
That was drawn up by Jason Kidd on the sideline. They practiced it this morning at shoot-around.
75-50, the lead extends to 25. DeRozan, left to right to Levine. Backs up on the dribble. Screen and roll with Sabonis. Lost the ball going up, and it's out of bounds as Sabonis touched it last. Another Sacramento turnover, their 13th.
Keep that pressure on defensively. Keep the pressure on offensively inside.
Washington will bring it up for the Mavericks along the right side. Left-hand dribble now to his right against Carter. Big on small, whips across court. Oh, no, caught by Lively in the lane. Little jump hook is no good. And the rebound taken by Carter.
Lively signaled to him, and he found him.
Murray. Right to left, Sabonis. Hand off to Levine. Pick and roll with Sabonis. Met by Lively in the lane. Kick it back out to DeRozan against Thompson. Got by him. And on the drive, hanging, missing off the board. Washington the rebound. DeRozan trailing the play. Mavericks have numbers. And in the lane, here's Lively. He couldn't finish it. How did he miss that? The rim blocked that dunk. It's picked up by Murray. He'll drive and get fouled by P.J. Washington.
Oh, and Lively is so mad at himself. That was an easy bucket there, and he slams his head into the stanchion. Oh.
I think Washington actually could have gone coast to coast with that because DeRozan was behind the play. They had that all spread out. It was there. It was almost too unselfish.
Too much size for the Mavericks on both ends of the floor. Offensively, they're finding where they want to go inside. Defensively, just walling off that paint, making those shots so difficult.
Keegan Murray misses the first free throw. It is very, very, very quiet here in the Golden One Center right now as Murray makes the second one. The Mavericks with a 75-51 lead, 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the third quarter. Washington walks it up, bounces to Lively. That's off his leg, and that's going to be a backcourt violation. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. That absolutely was a backcourt violation. They missed that one. Christie can't believe it. Washington on the drive. That's no good. And a travel now called because Washington caught what was an air ball underneath the basket. So ball ultimately doesn't lie, but, man, the Mavericks were fortunate to even have a chance at it.
Well, you know what that's like as a Florida fan. You once you go up with the ball.
That's exactly right.
You drive. You can't go grab it again.
Can't go grab the ball. Here comes DeRozan up the left side.
Sorry to all my family and friends in Houston for bringing that up.
Here's Levine, met by Marshall. Made him give it up to DeRozan at midcourt. Now will drive, met by Lively at the elbow, crossing left to right on the drive. Got inside of him, Lively blocked the shot from behind, and it's picked up by Davis. Here come the Mavericks. Davis leads the break, and he's going to drive it to the rim, and he missed the layup. He had Thompson wide open on the right, and they called a foul, and Davis hitting the stanchion going through it. Couldn't hear the whistle, but free throws to come for Anthony Davis. And Murray picks up the foul.
Oh, that's a tough call. I think this is going to be challenged right here.
Well, Doug Christie's going to take a look at this. At least his... But again, they only have 3 timeouts left, too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So Davis will shoot. Davis did have Thompson open to the right wing, too, but there was also so much room coming down the lane that he felt, listen, I got to take the 2.
And that's the beauty of what they're doing because they have so much size inside, so much attention's needed. They're getting those shots in there, and they have open looks from the outside.
First one by Davis is good. Looking for his 16th point of the night. Foul shot on the way. That's good.
And again, Ellis with those 4 fouls early in this quarter has to sit on the bench probably the remainder of the quarter.
And you got DeRozan pretty much being the initiator now as he brings it up left to right to Levine. Cross screen by Sabonis to the left. Levine turns the corner, got to the top. Pull up 3 is good.
You don't want him to get off because he is fully capable of doing that.
Third 3 of the game for Zach Levine. He's got 11, and it's 77-54. Here's Marshall off the stagger to his right. Drives past DeRozan. Right corner. Davis feeling it. Has it. 3-pointer for Anthony Davis.
3 of 5 from deep for AD. And if he can be a stretch as well, that just diversifies that offense.
And shooting 28% from 3 for the year, but making them tonight as DeRozan rattles one in from 10 feet to the right of the lane.
If they're unable to hit threes, that's not their game. Can they climb back in?
80-56. 8:10 remaining in the third. Washington against DeRozan. To Davis out top against Murray. Put it on the floor. Will drive. Put a shoulder into him. Right of the lane. Throws an air ball over the top. Picked up by Sabonis. Pushes it up the right side. DeRozan cross court left. And here's a 3-pointer from Murray. Air ball. But it came down to Carter on the weak side. And he'll dribble the ball back out beyond the arc. Drive it right to left on Washington. Reversing it. And that missed badly. But the rebound to Sabonis. And he's able to put it in.
Yeah, no help underneath.
And Domantas Sabonis with his 7th point. 80-58. Marshall off the stagger left to right. Drives past Levine in the lane. That's blocked by Murray. Taken down by DeRozan. 3-on-1. Left to Carter. Drop it off. And underneath there's DeRozan for the layup. And Jason Kidd will take a timeout.
Yeah, it's a good use of it here. Little momentum going the other way. Stop it. Rally your troops.
7:24 remaining in the third quarter. It's the Mavericks 80 and the Kings 60 in the play-in game in Sacramento on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network. Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs!
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Winning doesn't just happen on game day. It happens every day of the week when you put in the work. That's how the Mavs do it. And it's what we love about Ford F-Series, the 48-year leader, and Ford SUVs. Vehicles that offer the capability to handle everyday life. That's why Ford is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks and proud sponsor of Work Today to Win Tomorrow, based on 1977 to 2024 CY total sales.
Ford is the best in Texas.
Replacing your floors can be a struggle, but it doesn't have to be. At Floret, we have a better way. Floret is a company dedicated to revolutionizing the flooring industry and taking the hassle out of updating your floors. We provide premium, sustainable flooring crafted with only the finest materials and finishes to add style and elegance to any space. Our floors are quality tested to make sure they do more than look good. They're pet-proof, kid-proof, waterproof, and life-proof too. No hassle, no fuss. Just great-looking floors. A beautiful space starts with a beautiful floor. Find yours today at floret.com.
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
Gem Summer Hoop Camps are almost here. Beginning in June, the all-girl hoop camps will bring together Mavs Academy coaches and special guests to teach girls 7 to 18 the fundamentals of basketball while building lifelong friendships. Sign your Gem up today at Mavs.com/Gem. 7:24 remaining third quarter. Kings have scored the last 6. Mavericks an 80-60 lead. And again, we talked about three-point volume for the Mavericks as well as the ability clearly to make them. Dallas 11 of 20 from 3 tonight against a Kings team that is last in defending the 3, 38.1% during the year.
And the key is it's 40% of their shots are from 3. That's what's important. It's not just the number, but it's how many of your overall shots. These are teams that are 23rd and 24th in three-point rate, shooting way above their paper in the number of attempts from outside they're doing. The Kings are going to have to charge attempting more to climb back in.
The Mavericks bring Daniel Gafford in the game out of the timeout. Dante Exum comes in as well. As Derek Lively sits down and Klay Thompson sits down. That's who's in and who's out. Brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. And Max Christie also has checked in the game for the Mavericks, and P.J. Washington sitting down.
Yeah, the kid's done a great job of getting these guys in and out.
Here comes Exum up the left side with the Mavericks shooting to our left. Play by Carter. Backs up on the dribble. Now to Davis at the top of the arc. Trey Lyles pokes at him. Behind his back, right to left. Met by Sabonis. Turns. Got caught in the air, but finds Gafford underneath. The turns comes up short against Lyles. And Sabonis with the rebound. To Levine up the left side. Screen by Sabonis. Right to left on the drive. Reversing and scoring against Gafford.
Sacramento got a little life. They're doing it inside, just going right to the hole.
8 straight points for the Kings. 80-62. 6:45 remaining in the third. As Marshall across the floor from right to left. Keeps the dribble against DeRozan. Now back to his right. Right of the circle. A whistle and a foul. And that's against Sacramento. Trey Lyles gets called for the foul. Away from the ball by Ben Taylor, and Doug Christie not overly enamored of that call.
Way too aggressive with Anthony Davis while Davis was trying to get to his spot there.
The Kings with their 4th team foul. Mavericks shooting free throws now for the remainder of the quarter on any common foul. Davis outside the arc, off the bounce for 3. That's short. And the rebound taken by DeRozan.
Bit of a heat check there.
Up the right side against Marshall. To his left, in the lane, fadeaway from 10, in and out. Rebound at the foul line, taken by Marshall. To the left to Exum, on the push. Screen by Davis, trying to turn the corner on Carter. Drop it off for Gafford, that's behind him, stolen by Sabonis. Ahead to Carter, on the run out, he'll dunk it, and that's a 10-0 run now for the Kings.
Gotta be a bit more smart, turnovers there. That's now 6 points off turnovers for the Kings.
Oh, and that is 3 turnovers for the Mavericks here in the third quarter after they had 3 the entire first half. Davis doubled right side, tries to draw a foul, and he does. With Lyles and Sabonis coming over on the late double team. And it's Lyles that's going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, he does the rip-through move on Lyles. Good call, draws that foul. Now you're going to start seeing more doubles on AD. That's going to be an interesting development. But as you mentioned, obviously that was a shooting foul anyway, but they're going to be shooting free throws the rest of this way here in the quarter.
Davis was 7 in the quarter, 19 in the game. Mavericks as a team, 13 of 14 from the free throw line.
Well, I said it up top, Davis has got to be the best player on the court for the Mavs to win, and so far he has been.
First one is good. Well, he's been very good. He's also had a lot of help tonight. He hasn't had to do this alone. As one more to come. Anthony Davis, 6 of 16 shooting tonight, but 3 of 6 from 3. This is a team, Sacramento, in which Davis shoots just 47% against them in his career. That's the lowest percentage against any team in the NBA.
And he's 6 of 6 on his free throws. We've seen him miss some early in this comeback.
Here's Levine along the left side for the Kings. Picks up the dribble way outside behind the hash mark. Down the left sideline for Carter to Sabonis. Around the arc, left to right. Now to DeRozan. Got caught in the air, but met by Gafford. Across the way finds Levine. Right of the lane, 2 to shoot. Turns right baseline. Tough fadeaway from 15.
Oh, that is just tip your hat right there. It's great defense. Keeping a big run close to the rim and having one out in space.
That's 15 for Zach LaVine, 82-66. Washington on the drive. Off-balance runner, no good. Draws the foul.
Yeah, and he is starting to have that playoff swagger that we know P.J. Washington can have.
DeRozan picks up his 3rd foul. And again, Sacramento's over the limit.
When you're aggressive, that's what happens. You draw these fouls, get inside, keep attacking.
Washington, 10 points and 6 rebounds tonight in 25 minutes. 72.2% from the free throw line this year. And hits the first one. And just one of those nights where the Mavericks, who have been an average to below average free throw shooting team all year, they've got it all dialed in right now. 16 of 17 from the line.
And that's huge when you're trying to get every point you can.
Second one is good, and the Mavericks 8 of 8 from the line here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, +8 from the free throw line.
84-66. Mavericks have led by as many as 26. They lead by 18 right now. Here's Levine, left to right, push it to DeRozan. Right wing, play by Gafford now, backs up on the dribble. Screen by Lyles, switch by Christie, back out as Lyles on the drive, and the runner rolls home.
Able to get past Christie and get that open look.
84-68. Here's Exum racing with Carter down the lane. Dotted line runner, good.
Oh, nice little floater from Exum.
86-68. Exum's got 8. Along the right side, Levine. Backs up Sabonis. Screens, but that's rejected. Levine over the top, right to left. Carter, left corner DeRozan, out to the wing, tries to turn the corner on Washington, spins to his left, and from the weak side, there's Gafford to block it, saved by Davis at the sideline. Ahead to Washington, left to Exum, will catch and shoot for 3. He hits.
And that's exactly why you have 2 bigs, because one's in space, one was right there at the rim, sent it the other way, and Exum converts it with the 3 ball.
And Doug Christie takes a timeout, leaving him with just 2 remaining, with 4:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Mavericks 89, the Kings 68 in the play-in game in Sacramento on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network. Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs!
Postseason dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Whoa, take it easy there. There's a better way to NBA. All playoffs long.
Wait, really?
With the NBA app, you get real-time stats and scores for every playoff matchup. Witness playoff drama as it unfolds.
Seriously?
Catch every bucket all in one place, all for free.
Where have you been all my life?
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Winning doesn't just happen on game day. It happens every day of the week when you put in the work. That's how the Mavs do it. And it's what we love about Ford F-Series, the 48-year leader, and Ford SUVs, vehicles that offer the capability to handle everyday life. That's why Ford is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks and proud sponsor of Work Today to Win Tomorrow, based on 1977 to 2024 CY total sales.
Ford is the best in Texas.
There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. Jack could have been like any other whiskey. Instead, we charcoal mellow every drop through 10 feet of hard sugar maple charcoal. We use water from Cave Spring Hollow in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's no coincidence that Jack is what it is today. Because when you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks. 2022 Jack Daniels, all rights reserved.
Go. 97.1 The Eagle. The radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas, Fort Worth.
I'm Tyler Sloan at the Modelo Sports Desk. Earlier tonight, the Miami Heat defeated the Chicago Bulls 109-90. And in case you missed it yesterday, the Orlando Magic defeated the Atlanta Hawks 120-95. Orlando will take on the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. The Golden State Warriors defeated the Memphis Grizzlies 121-116. Golden State will take on Houston, and Memphis gets a 24-hour head start on a flight back from California to Memphis ahead of Friday's play-in game against the winner of the Mavericks-Kings game tonight. That'll be an 8:30 tip-off. Chuck?
And right now, the Mavericks look like they're getting ready to take a flight to Memphis, but still
a lot of work to go.
16 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. The Mavericks up 89-68. And it is playoff time, MFFLs, and round one tickets are on sale now. The Playoff Hub has all the latest info on tickets and suites, schedule, watch parties, merch, giveaways, and more. Stay locked into all the action. Buy your tickets today at Mavs.com/playoffs. Mavericks 4 of 9 shooting here in the third. The Kings, after a rough first half, 9 of 16 shooting here in the third. But again, the Mavericks led by as many as 26. The lead is 21 right now, and Dante Exum knocking down that last three. Very mindful of what happened in this building at the end of March last year. Games, a baseball series that I think more than anything, Brian, proved what the Mavericks were really capable of doing, and they turned out doing.
Yeah, they were. Actually, that was a battle to get out of the play-in, if you remember.
Out of the timeout, Levine misses a three, and Gafford with the rebound. And Washington comes up the right side, cross-court Exum. Left to right now against Keegan Murray. Keeps the dribble at the block underneath. Now turns back with 10 to shoot. Brings the ball out to the arena logo. He'll attack it again. Straight line drive. Hook across court. And Christie for three. That's no good. Gafford the offensive rebound. A whistle. And a loose ball foul's called on Daniel Gafford.
Ooh, that's a tough one right there. Gafford underneath.
And Brian Forte makes the call. Gafford not really happy. Jason Kidd not very happy either. As Gafford picks up his second foul.
Jason Kidd saying he's holding him.
And the second team foul on the Mavericks here in the third quarter. As Levine brings it across the line. Screen by Valanciunas now against Washington. To his left on the drive. Through the lane. Finds DeRozan right corner. Run off the line. He'll drive to the rim. Met by Gafford. Floated it in over him. That's a nice finish by DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, Gafford in the air and couldn't. Nice little hesitation just to get that double pump in.
DeRozan's got 21. 8 here in the third. 89-70. 3:10 remaining in the third. Exum to his right. Pick and roll with Gafford. Lob it up for Gafford. Makes the catch underneath. Gathers. And it knocked away by DeRozan. Picked up by Valanciunas. Here comes Murray. Knocked away by Davis. But Murray got it back. And dribbles the ball out to half court. To the trailing Valanciunas. To the right to DeRozan. Right to left. Backs out beyond the arc. Now works right against Max Christie. Spins left on him. Spins right on him. Right baseline hangs. Scores with a foul. And a three-point play chance for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, just spun right around Max Christie, and you just can't give up something like that. You got to close out this quarter. Keep it a healthy lead. But he is such a master inside, and just not a lot of contact there.
DeMar DeRozan playing in his fifth play-in game. He has scored at least 22 points in all of those games, shooting 51% from the floor. And tonight, 9 of 20 from the floor. And looking for point number 24, which he now has. 89-73. Brandon Williams is checked in for the Mavericks to Christie. Christie will drive on DeRozan, loop it over the top, left corner, Washington three. That's good.
Oh, P.J. Washington's starting to feel it. I love playoff P.J.
15 for Washington, his first three of the game. And the Mavericks' 13th three of the night in 24 attempts.
You asked for him.
92-73. DeRozan driving, faking left and turning right and then over. Christie hits another 8-footer for the right baseline, and it's become the DeMar DeRozan show for Sacramento here late in the third.
Those are tough ones.
He's got 26, 92-75. Williams right to left, and he got bumped by Zach LaVine, and Brandon Williams will shoot free throws. Too much speed from Brandon Williams.
That is the key word. You've asked Jason Kidd, what is it about Brandon Williams? Speed, and he falls on that abdomen area and a little slow getting up. You wonder if there's just a little bit of soreness there as he walks to the free throw line.
Tell you what, when the opportunity is presented to you,
fight through it.
Play through it. You'll deal with a lot.
Shaq says put some icy hot on that.
Brandon Williams, who had 9 big points in the first half, including a pair of threes to start the second quarter and really get the ball rolling on a 44-point quarter, hits the first free throw here.
Again, the Mavs 18 of 19 from the line. Huge factor in this game.
Lively and Martin check back in for the Mavericks.
You can see Williams is still feeling a little sore there, but he's shaking it off. He knows this is a huge opportunity for him.
One more to come, looking for his 11th point of the night. Trying to give the Mavericks a 19-point lead, and he does. Brandon Williams, 83% from the line during the regular season. 94-75, under 2 to play here in the third. LaVine accelerates and kicks to Lyles, right corner, drives into the lane, met by Washington, and Lively from the weak side, the left-hand block, taken down by Washington. Up top for Lively, that pass was too high, and there's a foul call, and Lively is going to go to the line.
There have been some late calls here, but it is right. Valanciunas pushing with that right arm. Oh, yeah, that's why Lively couldn't get it. It's a good call. I don't care if it's late. They made the right call.
Derek Lively will go to the line. Lively's been averaging about 15 minutes since his return. He's played 15 minutes tonight.
Yeah, Jason Kidd told you pregame, everybody's minutes are up. Those with minutes restrictions, they're now playoff level minutes restrictions.
Fans not happy with the
channel that anger in a different direction, but that was the right call.
Second free throw missed by Lively after he hit the first. And the rebound by Lyles to DeRozan with 1.5 minutes remaining in the third. At the foul line, spins and over Caleb Martin. That's an air ball, but it comes down to Valanciunas, gathering, going up and laid it in. That's some power work by the veteran Jonas Valanciunas in his 13th year from Lithuania.
Nice pick up at the trade deadline.
95-77. 1:15 remaining in the third. Lively, backdoor to Williams. Williams pumping, going up, and scores. What a beautiful pump fake as he got DeRozan up in the air.
13 for Brandon Williams.
97-77. LaVine kick it back out. Face up, 18-footer. Valanciunas hits it.
Good minutes here in the reserve role. Sabonis on the bench.
97-79. Sabonis only 7 points tonight in 27 minutes of play. Williams backs up on his dribble. To Lively in the lane, kick it back out right wing, bobbled by Marshall, but he recovers. Back to Williams in the middle with 8 to shoot, and splits the pick and roll. Left corner wide open, Washington 3 is short and bounces over the backboard.
Oh, but that was set up by Williams' penetration, and he is talking some trash right now on his way back.
They're feeling it right now. I mean,
yeah, they are.
And the basketball.
Need Boban in here to get the ball
really.
out of the top of the rim. It's basically stuck between the shot clock and the top of the rim, so the broom has to come out.
And the ball kid couldn't do it, so Keegan Murray walked over and said, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, that ball kid looks about 5'8".
So Murray will inbound along the right side, 38.8 remaining in the third. Trying to get it in. Valanciunas comes back to help out. And he'll bring the ball up as Marshall does a good job of overplaying Zach LaVine. Along the left side, the handoff to Murray. Now LaVine gets it. Marshall all over him. Outside the arc, left of the circle.
They're going to finally call that. Yeah, Lively and Valanciunas were kind of playing with each other, fighting for position the whole time, and they finally called it on Lively.
Second foul on Derek Lively.
Maybe a little acting on Valanciunas' part, but the rest were looking for it.
First in the last 2 minutes against the Mavericks. 24.9 remaining. LaVine into DeRozan. Screen left by Valanciunas. He'll use that. Keep the dribble. Martins gets back to play him one-on-one. 4 to shoot, 3 to shoot. Spinning left of the lane, hits again from 12.
Boy, he is saving these Kings.
15 for DeRozan in the third quarter, 28 in the game. Final 6 seconds. Williams left wing toward the baseline, around Valanciunas, and through the lane. And Valanciunas can be called for a wraparound foul.
Speed is what generated that. He had nowhere to go. Valanciunas had him defended in space, and he just goes right around him, and Valanciunas had to foul him.
2.9 seconds remaining. Valanciunas picks up his third foul. And Brandon Williams, in his playoff debut, 13 points in 13 minutes with 4 assists and no turnovers, and hits the first free throw.
Literally signed to a contract less than a week ago.
Max Christie comes back in for Washington for the last 2.9.
You can see the 10-man rotation Jason Kidd wants to use. He's telling his players, keep an eye on Valanciunas, who's kind of snowbirding up at the 3-point line, at the midcourt line with 3 seconds left.
Yep, Lively back there. Marshall's back there as well. And Williams eyes the rim on his second free throw. And on the way, and that rolls around and drops. Levine into DeRozan, back to Levine. He'll run it up. Can he get it away in time? He does not. He had a chance from behind the midcourt line. He took one more dribble, and that allowed the horn to sound without the shot being taken. And the Mavericks, 0-3 against the Kings this season, will take an 18-point lead to the fourth in the most important of these 4 meetings. A chance to move on and play Memphis on Friday night in Memphis for the right to go to the NBA playoffs. 99-81 Mavericks as they go to the fourth on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
Great medical care, like great basketball, takes teamwork and a commitment to being the very best. At UT Southwestern Medical Center, we're on a mission of healing, discovery, and education, and the ultimate victory is your good health. Fulfilling that mission has made UT Southwestern the #1 hospital in DFW for 8 straight years, an excellent winning streak. UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of the Dallas Mavericks. Go Mavs.
Fly to Philly, take off to Tampa, depart for Denver. Following your team on the road is more rewarding with the American Airlines Advantage program. Your flights and everyday spend not only earn you miles towards your next trip, but also loyalty points toward Advantage status. All the more reason to purchase both a home and away jersey. With status comes great benefits like priority boarding, free checked bags, and complimentary upgrades. Not a member? Enroll for free today at AA.com. American Airlines, you are why we fly. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, all you basketball fans on the other side of this microphone, I know you got a lot of knowledge up there, right? So now it's time to use it for big cash payouts. Regular season's done, we're in the playoffs, and DraftKings Pick 6 is the only way to go. And with Pick 6, you're not betting on teams, you are betting on stats. Hit all those picks, you're going to score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6. That means even more cash for you when you outscore the competition. All the games are listed, all the player faces, you just pick whether they're going to have more or less of a stat. Hit the up and down arrow, lock it in, you get it right, you get a cash win. And if you're new, pay $5, you're going to get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code MAVPICKS. That's code MAVPICKS for new customers. Play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. It's better payouts, bigger wins. It's only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms right now at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
Chuck Cooperstein and Brian Damaris at the Golden One Center in Sacramento as we go to the fourth quarter of the 9-10 play-in game. Earlier tonight, the 10th seed in the East, Miami, won in Chicago. The Mavericks, the 10th seed in the West, trying to do the same here in Sacramento and set up a meeting with the Memphis Grizzlies on Friday night in Memphis. And through 3 quarters, Dallas 53.3% shooting, 13 of 25 from 3, 22 of 24 from the free throw line. And that included a 14 of 15 shooting in the third quarter when they got to the penalty early because of the aggressiveness. And the Kings, a much better third quarter. They wound up shooting through 3, 48.4%, 9 of 21 for 3. Most of that is DeMar DeRozan. He had 15 in the quarter.
Yeah, they were able to find more inside. They're still hitting tough mid-range shots. Mavericks still got to continue to lock down on defense, run when appropriate, attack the basket, and then pop out for open looks from three.
Mavericks having to start the fourth quarter. Brandon Williams, Caleb Martin, Klay Thompson, Derek Lively, Najee Marshall as they shoot to our left with Williams. To his right, stop and go, got by Levine, drop it off Lively underneath, not a shooting position, threw it back out on 2 bounces. Thompson got at the hash mark and drives to the right baseline, came up short from 8, and the rebound taken by Keon Ellis, who sat out basically the entire third quarter after picking up his 4th foul 14 seconds in. Here's DeRozan, back left, and a catch and shoot. Levine for 3, rattles in and out, and the rebound off the hands of Lively, picked up by Marshall. To Thompson, up the right side. Left-hand dribble, screen and roll with Lively. Now to Marshall. He'll drive it. Left block, and then foul call, an offensive foul. Najee Marshall with a push-off on Ellis.
Too aggressive there by Najee.
Second foul on Marshall. The turnover, the 8th for the Mavericks tonight. As DeRozan brings it up. Caleb Martin will play him. Great screen set by Sabonis, but Martin got back to him. To the right to Levine on the drive and floats it up, just hit the backboard. There's Sabonis, almost like a pass to Sabonis. Excellent defense by Lively, but Sabonis had the inside position.
Yeah, when you only have one big, then he's going for the block, and there's an opening on the other side.
99-83. Here's Thompson underneath and throws it up and drops it in as he hit the deck with a lot of contact, too. No whistle, and Thompson with his first point since the second quarter when he scored all 16 of his points until that basket. There's DeRozan. Got caught in the air, but able to drop it off right to Ellis. To Sabonis, back to the basket, hand off to DeRozan, wide to his right, met by Lively. To Keegan Murray on the drive, a ton of contact there.
Great charge drawn by Caleb Martin. And this defense is flying around.
4th foul on Keegan Murray. 14th turnover by Sacramento as Davis will come back in the game for Derek Lively. 1 minute and 35 seconds into the fourth quarter, and the Mavericks up 101-83. And Doug Christie is going to challenge this call.
He may have just moved just a little.
So the challenge will be made. They'll check with Gediminas Petritis up at the replay center in Secaucus, New Jersey. In the meantime, we'll take the timeout with the Mavericks up 101-83 on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
You know what In-N-Out hamburgers are all about. But what about our fries? It's pretty simple. It all begins with the finest, freshest potatoes, hand-cut right in the store, then cooked to perfection in 100% sunflower oil and served piping hot. Now that's a side order worth singing about.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
Longer seasons are the new normal, which is why Ultimate Season Pass from TXU Energy gives you 50% off energy charges during peak winter and summer, plus even more months of automatic savings.
There's nothing better than energy savings that just keep going.
And going.
Who doesn't love more comfort for more months?
Enjoy Texas-sized savings for Texas-sized seasons.
With Ultimate Season Pass, the savings go on and on.
And on. Over $450 a year.
All aboard!
TXU Energy. Energy for everything.
Visit TXU.com for more information. Rep number 10004.
What do basketball and banking have in common? To win, you need the right team. That's where Chime comes in. They're changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and with direct deposit, you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early. Chime even provides fee-free overdraft on debit card purchases with SpotMe. And as the official partner of the Dallas Mavericks, Mavs fans already have Chime on their team. So if you're looking for a layup, open a Chime account today at Chime.com. Chime, banking that has your back. Early direct deposit depend on the payer. SpotMe eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
You're listening to Dallas Mavericks basketball. 97.1 The Eagle.
Christie doesn't look happy.
Summer's around the corner, so are the Mavs Academy summer camps. Pick from a range of dates and locations. Secure your child's place today. Sign up now at Mavs.com/camps. And here's Mark Davis to tell us about the challenge.
Upon review, it has been determined that Martin established a legal guarding position prior to the upward shooting motion by Murray. Therefore, this was correctly judged as an offensive foul. This is an unsuccessful challenge. Sacramento will be charged for their timeout, and they have no additional challenges.
Doug Christie didn't look happy coming into that announcement, and that is why. For the Mavericks basketball, no more challenges for the Kings.
So the Kings, no challenges and only one timeout left. With 10:25 remaining.
And they have got to generate some threes or some transition opportunities. Got a lockdown defensively. Brandon Williams, the energizer, really knifing through. Anthony Davis back in for the Mavs.
As he takes Derek Lively's place. Davis tonight, 21 points, 7 rebounds in his 26 minutes. As Thompson will inbound to Williams. And he'll be picked up by Zach LaVine. Knee-high dribbles. He comes across the line, off the stagger to his right, accelerates and pulls up on a dime, right of the lane, and hits it from 12 feet. Boy, Brandon Williams looks like he's been doing this for 10 years.
Whatever his contract is, it's a bargain.
17 for Brandon, 17, for Brandon Williams. 103-83. DeRozan bobbles but recovers. Got it back out to LaVine. LaVine pushes it right. DeRozan on the drive, draws a foul and scores it. And Caleb Martin commits the foul and a three-point play chance for DeMar DeRozan with just incredible creativity in the mid-range.
Yeah, if he gets by him, he's able to draw that contact and get that foul. It's kind of a Jimmy Butler type play.
Let's pause 10 for station identification on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
KEGL Fort Worth, Dallas. Raw at 97.1, The Eagle.
DeRozan missed the free throw, but Keegan Murray got the offensive rebound to Ellis. To Sabonis, dribbles to his right, the handoff to LaVine, right to left, and a 20-footer over Marshall is short, and the rebound to Caleb Martin. Williams will bring it across the line against Ellis. Left-hand dribble, screen by Davis, top of the arc. Now to Davis, top of the circle, pivots on Sabonis, put it on the floor, driving right, and to the rim, floater no good, and the rebound taken by DeRozan. Davis down, Sacramento's got numbers. LaVine, straight line drive, left to right, and throws the ball away. Picked up by Marshall, ahead to the cherry-picking Davis, who missed it as it was blocked from behind, and taken down by DeRozan.
Gonna dunk that.
Here comes DeRozan through the lane, spinning, and over Martin, and can't get the roll. Rebound. And a loose ball foul against the Mavericks with bodies flying everywhere, both Williams and Sabonis. And it's Davis actually is going to be called for the foul for the push.
Yeah, Sabonis fell to the ground, and Davis fighting for that rebound. Oh, and Davis had not getting back on the play earlier, and boy, what a great defensive play by Murray.
Got to go up and dunk that
ball.
ball.
A challenge.
Yeah, Jason Kidd's going to challenge this, and he's got a ton of timeouts to use. So he'll use this with 8:57 remaining in the fourth quarter. Mavericks with 4 timeouts remaining, including this one, leading Sacramento 103-85 on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
Elevate your dining experience at Sears Steak and Spirits, one of Dallas's top-rated steakhouses. With breathtaking views of downtown Dallas, every seat is one with a view. Chef Aubrey Murphy crafts bold, unforgettable flavors using choice cuts of steak and locally sourced ingredients for an evening that's as remarkable as the view. There's only one place in Dallas, Sear. Reserve your table at sersteak.com. That's sersteak.com. Elevate your dining experience today at Sears Steak and Spirits.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking. And you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. Proud sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Winning doesn't just happen on game day. It happens every day of the week when you put in the work. That's how the Mavs do it. And it's what we love about Ford F-Series, the 48-year leader, and Ford SUVs, vehicles that offer the capability to handle everyday life. That's why Ford is a proud sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks and proud sponsor of Work Today to Win Tomorrow, based on 1977 to 2024 CY total sales.
Ford is the best in Texas.
Go. 97.1 The Eagle. The radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas, Fort Worth.
I'm Tyler Sloan at the Modelo Sports Desk. The Miami Heat winners earlier tonight over the Chicago Bulls, 109-90. 38 points from Tyler Hero in the win, 25 points and 10 boards for Josh Giddey in the loss for the now eliminated Chicago Bulls. Mavericks lead by 18 with a little under 9 minutes to play. Let's send it back to Chuck and Brian to find out if Jason Kidd won his challenge.
To determine that Davis illegally grabbed Sabonis around his waist, preventing him from alighting in an attempt to secure this loose ball. Therefore, this is an unsuccessful challenge. Loose ball foul be assessed to Davis. Dallas is charged with a timeout. They have no additional challenges.
So there you go. So both teams now out of challenges as a result of failed challenges in the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. The Mavericks, though, with 3 timeouts still remaining. The Kings have only 1. And if you have a chance, check out the Mavs 2025 yearbook. Dive into exclusive behind-the-scenes content featuring your favorite players today at Mavs.com/yearbook.
Davis's left arm around the midsection of Sabonis when he was trying to get that rebound.
And Davis picking up his second foul. And the Kings will inbound from the left sideline. And Doug Christie goes deeper into his bench. He brings in the former Maverick, Doug McDermott, who very rarely plays for this team now. But the one thing we know Doug McDermott can do,
Dougie McBuckets.
Dougie McBuckets can shoot the ball. And he'll get it into DeRozan. In the middle of the floor, coming around is McDermott, and right away for 3, no good. The rebound taken by Washington. They got him a pretty good look there coming off that pin down.
It didn't take long at all.
Here's Williams along the left side. Now to his right, driving on McDermott. Right corner, Marshall all alone off the back rim. Davis tips the rebound to himself and blocked from behind again by Murray. A spectacular play by Keegan Murray.
He's done that twice.
Now Sabonis, the handoff to DeRozan against Williams. Mismatch here as he tries to bully him. Spin to his left. 12-foot turnaround off the back rim. And Thompson the rebound for the Mavericks.
Good job not fouling there. He knows he has help behind him.
Now Thompson pushes it up the left side. Behind him to Washington. Mavericks slow it down a little bit. Dante Exum to the scorer's table. Into the next dead ball. Gafford is as well. Washington with 8 to shoot. To his left, met by Sabonis. Turns on Sabonis, short, got his own rebound, and in the lane, that's no good. Rebound fought for, and DeRozan took it away from Davis. Mavericks have gone cold here at the start of the fourth quarter. McDermott, right corner, got it back out. Levine got around Washington, met by Marshall, and he lost it out of bounds on the way up.
Great defense there, and Klay Thompson not letting McDermott get any space for his shot. He knows exactly how to defend that kind of person because he is that kind of person.
Exum checks in to replace Williams, and Gafford in to replace Marshall. So the Mavericks back to the 2 big look as Exum will bring it up. 7:40 to play, 103-85. Exum in the middle of the floor. Picks up the dribble, bounces to Thompson, circles right off of Gafford, keeps the dribble, and over the top to a wide-open Washington. Left corner 3 is short, and on the weak side, Sabonis grabs the rebound.
That was the play the whole time, open look.
Here comes Sabonis, dribble handoff, McDermott, pick and roll with Sabonis, through his hands and out of bounds.
And McDermott, who just doesn't play much, just doesn't have that many reps with Sabonis, threw it over him.
Turnover number 17. For Sacramento tonight, 14 points for the Mavericks off the prior 16.
Continue to put the pressure on here if you're the Mavs.
Here's Exum. Left hand push to Davis. Screen by Gafford. Now against Sabonis. Left of the lane. Tough 12-footer. Good. A little extra arc on that one for Anthony Davis.
Got 23. You can't double him with that other big in there underneath.
105-85. Davis, 7 of 20 shooting tonight. Done some damage at the foul line as DeRozan into the lane. Back out. Sabonis will try a three. Wide right. Rebound off the hands of Washington. Came right to Levine at the right wing. Now to Murray. Got around Thompson. Gortat screen from Sabonis. Around the horn they go. And then Levine missing badly from the right wing. And the rebound tipped out by Gafford.
Bodies flying everywhere.
Yeah, Davis a little slow to get up, but he's okay as he comes up the floor with Exum holding on to the ball on the dribble with 6:25 remaining. Now Davis at the top of the arc, to his left, turning right, lost the handle, got it back, bumping, spinning, below the nail, banked it in. I don't know that he called bank, but it was open very late here in Sacramento.
Bank is open on the West Coast.
25 for Davis, 107-85. McDermott for three, and again, that's way off, and Davis grabs the rebound. 9 rebounds for Anthony Davis.
And there's some people starting to head towards the exits here in Sacramento.
The Mavericks up 22. Have not led by fewer than 16 here in the second half. Davis against Sabonis, holds on to it, 3 to shoot, and 2, forces it. That's short. Rebound. Gafford knocked it out. Picked up by DeRozan. On the run, right to Levine. Levine met by Davis. Wraparound out. Murray, flyby by Gafford. Takes the 3 and makes it.
Their first 3 in quite some time.
It's 9 points for Keegan Murray. And it's 107-88. Washington along the right side. Drives to his left, into the lane, laid off, dunker spot, Gafford over Sabonis.
And with that lack of size, if you pay too much attention when he's driving, that dunker spot is wide open. There's the bucket.
And Doug Christie takes his last timeout with 5:03 remaining. And the Mavericks up 21, 109-88 on the Eagle Mavericks Radio Network.
This is the sound when you're hit with a $35 overdraft fee. And this is the sound when Chime Spot Me covers you on a debit card purchase with no overdraft fee. Chime is changing the game. There are no monthly fees, and they spot you instead of charging overdraft fees. Start banking through Chime today at Chime.com. Spot Me eligibility requirements and limits apply. Go to Chime.com for details. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. members FDIC.
As an educator, I want to ignite a fire within my students, to push them to dig deeper, question more, and create something beautiful. And with guaranteed lifetime income from TIAA, I'm able to focus more on helping my students define and change their futures, because I know TIAA is there helping take care of mine. Work passionately, retire confidently. Learn more at TIAA.org/neverrunout. Annuities issued by Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association of America, New York, New York. Guarantees subject to its claims paying ability.
Go. 97.1 The Eagle. The radio home of the Mavericks. The radio home of the Mavericks in Dallas, Fort Worth.
109-88 is the Mavericks lead with 5:03 remaining here in Sacramento. You know, just thinking about how this series has gone here recently, you know, you mentioned earlier in the game that, you know, maybe playing on the road would take some of the pressure off this team and just maybe allow them to have more of a bunker mentality. You know, again, go back to that baseball series here last year that told us so much about the team. The Mavericks have really struggled with the Kings in Dallas. They've lost their last 4 to the Kings, including 2 this year, as Murray misses a 3. Sabonis the rebound, pumping 3 times, and Davis throws it out of there. Picked up by Carter, back out to DeRozan, to the right to Levine along the baseline to the cutting Murray, and he misses the rebound to Sabonis, and a goaltend on Gafford.
So it's no secret, you know, this isn't rocket science, that when you get healthy and the vision of what this team is, scrambling on defense, locking that paint down, being physical, playing with 2 bigs, that was the vision of this thing. The only thing you're really missing is Kyrie Irving, which obviously makes a massive difference. But defensively, this is what the blueprint is, and it's no secret you're playing this way. And there's a little blood here on Anthony Davis's, coming out of Anthony Davis's nose.
Mavericks athletic trainer Dion Calhoun. attending to him.
Been around for 21 years, Dion has. 2004.
4:43 remaining. And the Mavericks shooting an even 50% for the game, led by 25 and 9 from Davis, 18 from Klay Thompson, 16 in the second quarter when the Mavericks really blew this thing open. 17 points in 18 minutes for Brandon Williams, 15 for P.J. Washington with 9 rebounds, and 11 for Dante Exum with 3 rebounds and 5 assists in 16 minutes.
Yeah, and you're winning your bench points 37-16. Obviously, Brandon Williams, 17, huge there. Exum with 11. This is the 10-man lineup now. Exum, Christie, Martin, Gafford, Williams as your reserves that we're probably going to see going forward. We'll clean up of the court from some of that blood that dripped. We are ready to go, and Dave's going to have to come out of the game.
Yeah.
Or is he? Nope. He's just throwing that towel back.
So Washington will inbound against pressure. Across the floor, left to right, and got it into Exum's hands, and he races with Carter across the line to Gafford inside the arc, and a lob for Davis, makes the catch underneath the basket, then reverses and scores as it settles in.
I don't think that's how they drew it up, but that's how it went in. 29. 21.
27. 27 for Anthony.
Oh, I was talking about the lead. My apologies.
Yes. And now another steal. Washington blocks the pass. Comes down with the ball laid off. And again, a dunk. And this time it's Gafford. And the route is on here in Sacramento, most assuredly. 23-point lead, 4 minutes remaining. Levine, top of the arc, over Gafford for 3. It's good. It's 18 for Zach Levine.
Well, I know you talked to a member of the coaching staff for the game, and they said they felt really good that the game plan was solid in this game. If they executed, they would have a nice win, and so far, so good.
There's a turnover as Gafford couldn't handle the pass. Levine on the drive and the dunk, and Jason Kidd will take a timeout with 3:40 remaining, and it's 113-95. But again, so often as we see in NBA games, we saw certainly in the other play-in games last night, a little less so in the early game tonight with Miami and Chicago. You get a huge lead. It's probably the hardest thing to do in the NBA is hold on to a large lead when you get it early. And the Mavericks have, again, led by as many as 26 in the third quarter. The Kings got it down to 16. That's as close as they've been.
It's human nature, Chuck. You can't play with that level of intensity when you're up by 26 that you do when you're down or tied. And so some of that happens, and that's why Jason Kidd called his timeout. Make sure there's no complacency here in this final 3:40 and put it over the finish line. But they really impressed by not only just blocking that paint, but the scrambling that they're doing, and they're always wanting to keep one big by the rim when one is dragged out, and then everybody else has got to play wing defense and shut that down on the outside, close out on those shooters, and then offensively you're seeing the blueprint. Attack inside, have somebody in the dunker spot ready to go if too much attention's paid to that guy driving the basketball.
Well, it has reflected itself in how many times we've seen, especially DeRozan and Levine, they drive into the lane.
Just have to pull it right back out.
Well, or they get caught in the air, they got nowhere to go, and they throw the ball away, and the Mavericks get an extra possession out of it, and they've taken advantage of that. And obviously the three-point shooting, but not a lot of three-point shots tonight, especially they've only taken 7, I believe, in the second half. After taking 20 in the first half, they made 10 of 20 in the first half. They're 3 of 7 in the second half, and the lead is 18. But a lot more willing, you would think, to take the 3. And now Washington has it knocked away from him by DeRozan at midcourt. He and Carter with a nice double team along the right sideline.
Well, it also got it across the half-court line, which was a concern.
Yeah, just in time with 16 on the clock. As Washington gets it into Thompson, who did his damage throughout the second quarter, 16 of his 18 in the second quarter, and from the right baseline turns and scores and got himself a 20-point game.
You think he recovered from that play-in game last year in this arena?
I do believe he found a way. 7 of 10 shooting tonight after 0 of 10 a year ago. Here's Lyles. The handoff to Levine. Against Washington as we come down on 3 minutes to play. Pulls up for 3, in and out, and the rebound to Gafford. Daniel Gafford with his 4th rebound. Exum against Carter. Right to left. Scoop it. Thompson again for 3. Yes!
23, and you guess what your reward is for winning Game 7? Another Game 7. As we will go to Memphis for an 8:30 start Friday.
118-95. And again, we asked for a little more Klay Thompson as DeRozan hits a three from the right corner. That he had to be more involved, Brian, in the offense and making sure that he got his shots, and he got his shots tonight.
Third most attempts on the team. That's what you want to see.
Washington on the drive. He missed. And the rebound is a loose ball foul against the Kings.
Yeah, Washington's really leveled up his game and his play-in, and you'll see now some confidence coming into this game, going into Memphis. Memphis played really well against Golden State. If it wasn't for that little Ja Morant, absence there for 7 minutes down the stretch, they may win that game.
Well, they certainly had a chance. They just couldn't get the ball in bounds.
Yeah.
In a 3-point game with 5 seconds to go.
How much different will the game Friday be from that one we saw on Sunday?
That game has already been erased from my mind.
There's no need to even look at that film.
No.
And you know that there's Mavs coaches that are already been working on the Memphis game plan since last night. They knew that was going to be, and they'll be implementing that starting first thing tomorrow.
Second one from Washington is good. Hit the front rim and crawled over after he hit the first one.
A diversified approach here. Washington, Davis, Thompson, Exum, Gafford, Williams, all with strong games.
120-98 with 2:10 remaining. DeRozan another three. That's short. Exum the rebound. Exum looked for the long one, but Gafford was covered by Sabonis, and now bring it across the line. And now a timeout to be taken by Jason Kidd. That'll get Davis out of the game.
Yep.
And Anthony Davis was brought in to perform. And again, the field goal percentage itself is not Anthony Davis-like, just 9 of 23 tonight. But his presence was very evident, really, from the get-go of this game. 27 points and 9 rebounds, 9 of 23 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3 for a 28% three-point shooter. That was huge.
That was huge to keep that defense honest. When he had it one-on-one, he was able to go inside, whether it be 3, mid-range, inside, and then when he got doubled, go find that man, either a center diving towards the bucket or right there at the dotted line, or somebody out at the three-point line. And that's where you were able to shoot 50% from 3 tonight.
14 of 28. The Mavericks 41 of 78 for 53%. The Mavericks 32 times this year shot 50% or better.
How about a 50-50-90 game? You gonna take that?
You're going to win a lot of games when you do that. And you score.
And play the kind of defense you play.
Yeah, and score 120 points, which, again, the scoring has been an issue for the Mavericks. Now, again, the Kings are not the Clippers, and they're not the Lakers, quite frankly. But this team has struggled to score pretty much against everybody of late. So to be able to put up a number like that under the gun, and the spotlight of the playoffs and the play-in and what all that means.
So can you play this level of defense against Memphis? Wall off that paint. Don't let Ja get in there and get everywhere he wants to go.
Well, and then deal with Zach Edey's rebounding, and he's been the best rebounder in the NBA in the month of April. So the bench has been cleared. 5 to shoot. Christie across the way. Dinwiddie, who's checked in, to Jaden Hardy along the right baseline. Out to Christie. Did not get the shot away in time. 24-second shot clock violation. Only the 10th turnover for the Mavericks tonight. Another important aspect of this game.
Yeah, just really keys across the board are really strong. Rebounded, only out-rebounded by 2.
The Kings have cleared their bench as well. Isaac Jones out of Washington State. Nice little split cut run by Devin Carter and able to drop it in.
Sacramento's going to face some offseason questions. Doug Christie remain the coach. Can they find a point guard?
There's Jaden Hardy at the foul line. Jumper off the left of the rim, no good. Carter the rebound with 1:20 remaining. Driving on Hardy and draws the foul. He'll go to the line. 1:18 remaining.
Wanted to shovel dirt on this Mavericks team, and they are not ready for that yet. And they're going to play another. Like I said, their rewards for winning this Game 7 is another do-or-die game against a feisty Memphis team on Friday night.
Well, again, since Jason Kidd's been the coach of this team, in closeout situations where they have a chance to advance, they are now 6-1. I mean, you can't ask for any more than that. And then just throw in a couple of games when they were down 3-0 to Golden State in the Western Conference Finals in 22, and last year in the finals to Boston. They won both of those games to force Game 5 They know how to play in these situations.
And they'll need it against a Memphis team that has a brand new coach that has only coached for a couple of weeks and a system they're still implementing on the fly.
Here's Dwight Powell on a drive, can't finish it. And the rebound taken down by Terrence Davis, signed at the very end of the season out of Ole Miss, to Carter. Davis, who did play for one time here in Sacramento, missed it, and Isaac Jones out of Washington State dunks home the rebound.
Well, I think the message Jason Kidd is going to have to his team over the next 48 hours, let's go make history.
Let's go make history. Let's be the first number 10 seed to make it to the full playoff draw. Number 10 seeds now 4-6 in the 10 games that have been played over the last 5 years as Martin misses. Tip, no good by Powell. Tip missed by Powell again. And taken out of there by the Kings. And they will run it up. And there is a pull-up, and that is good. Terrence Davis pulls up and scores. And this is as close as Sacramento ever got in the second half.
Yep,
14
will
points.
Do it.
A 120-106 win for the Mavericks here in Sacramento as the Kings season will end and the Mavericks move on and will walk in Memphis on Friday night after a 120-106 win here in Sacramento.
It's a great gutsy win. You wondered if they had enough in the emotional gas tank to get this win, if they could impose their will and play the style of basketball. They knew if they played their way, if Anthony Davis led this team, and he did with 27 points, they could come out with the win, adhering to the game plan, and they did just that tonight.
And it really all happened in the second quarter when the Mavericks outscored the Kings 4